Adrian, thank you, and a very good afternoon to you. Let's immediately start by having a look at the teams. Sonata in goal for Manchester United. A back three of De Ligt, Maguire and Yoro. Mazraoui, Eriksson, Ugarte and Dalot. Zirkzee, Fernandes and Højlund up front. Leno is in goal for Fulham, although Bender started the two previous cup ties. There's a back four of Castagna, Anderson, Bassi and Robinson. Lukic and Berker ahead of them. Traore, United old boy Andres Pereira, Andy Iwobi, and Muñiz gets the nod ahead of Jimenez up front. Some game in prospect here, Andy.
Really looking forward to this, Jim. It's a huge game, particularly, of course, for United here at Old Trafford. Expectant crowd, FA Cup up for grabs really this year, and so everybody inside Old Trafford wearing red today will be anxious to see their team in the draw when it's all done and dusted.
So already through Manchester City, Bournemouth, Brighton, Villa, Palace and Preston. Will it be Manchester United or Fulham that join them? United red shirts, white shorts and black socks have been turned around, so they're going to be kicking towards the Stretford end in the first half. Fulham, white shirts, black shorts and white socks. Stuart Atwell is today's referee. Now we do have VAR. Well, the last time Manchester United were in a hole as big as this, it was the cup that saved them. And famously, it paved the way for all that was to follow. 35 years on, can it paper over the cracks again? Or will Fulham's impressive away form earn them another quarter-final and compound United's misery? We're underway. It's live and exclusive for National Radio here on Talk Sport. Fulham kicking from left to right and immediately conceding a free kick.
Really interested to see how Fulham approach this one, Jim, as well. Are they going to apply a press, high pressure early on in this game to force mistakes out of United and to just try and unsettle everybody in the crowd? Atmosphere is good at the moment, everyone, as you can expect, really right behind the Reds today. Are Fulham going to sit off and wait for United, or are they going to go after them and maybe force some of those errors?
Here's De Ligt in possession. He's 20 yards inside his own half. One thing that is noticeable straight away is the positioning of Bruno Fernandes, playing much deeper than we had anticipated that he would. Maguire lays the ball to his left-hand side for Yoro. Down towards Dalot, who is playing at left wing back again. He and Mazraoui playing the same way round that they did after Dorgu was sent off the other night. And then Yoro clears the ball down the left-hand touchline. Højlund giving something to chase, and Anderson puts it out of play for a throw. But an interesting role for Bruno, not what we anticipated.
No, I thought he would be a bit further forward than that. I thought we might see Zirkzee and Højlund split a little bit. Bruno in behind in the pocket. That's not where he is at the moment. He looks in the pivot position, deepest midfield player.
So he's got Ugarte one side of him. Christian Eriksen pushing forward in advance as well. He's just putting a little bit of pressure on Castagna here as it's cleared. It's a commanding header forward from Maguire. The loose ball picked up in the midfield by Fulham's Sander Berge, who've played Manchester United twice this season, and they've lost them both on each occasion. Fulham will feel that they should at least have got a draw. Beaten here on the opening weekend of the season with a Zirkzee debut goal late in the game, and then it was Martinez that got the winner with a deflected strike in the last 15 minutes at Craven Cottage about 5 weeks ago. And Fulham could easily have won both of those games, so they've travelled north with a bit of confidence. Has been quite stop-start in the early stages. Another free kick has been conceded. Pereira on Ugarte, and a free kick that Fernandes will take. 0-0.
And what's going to be interesting for United is this left-hand side. Diogo Dalot, as a wing-back, obviously he will always get forward when he can. But he's also got a little bit to consider with Adama Traore on this side. Lenny Yoro might need a little bit of help. And so Christian Eriksen picking the ball up now in that left-hand slot has got to be really clever there.
And he can work the ball forward down the left-hand side of the penalty area. Dalot's crossed in towards the corner of the 6-yard box. Volleyed away by Anderson. Put out a play for a throw that is taken almost immediately. United trying to play at a good tempo in these early stages. 3 minutes in, 0-0. Second ball on the pitch just for a moment as Dalot tries to win the first corner. The extraneous ball removed. The match ball ends up bobbling down towards the corner flag. Traore's done well just to be able to tow it away. He's under pressure from Zirkzee here, and Lukic is forced to hurriedly play it back inside his 6-yard box where Leonard wasn't expecting it, but Anderson could deal with the threat.
Yeah, Adama Traore getting, well,
he's just lost possession here as Andy breaks off. Eriksson trying to pick it up, but Lukic can calm things down.
Yeah. Sorry, Jim, just wanted to hold fire there because it was coming to Zirkzee towards the edge of the box, but Adama Traore, whenever he picks the ball up, he will have 1, 2, 3 red shirts immediately confronting him. If they can't get the ball off him, they'll foul him. They'll look to do that systematically to stop him, no doubt about that.
Harry Maguire in possession, the man that scored the stoppage time winner in the last round for Manchester United. Also played under Marco Silva at Hull earlier in his career. Zirkzee getting possession, going back to the edge of the 6-yard box for Onana, and he'll knock it out towards the right hand side for Mazraoui. Ball down the right hand touchline. Hoyland chasing after it. Bassey's come across and just tries to work it down towards the touchline. Robinson backpedaling quickly has kept it in and kept it alive. He did well to stop United winning a throw deep in Fulham territory, but then Traore's just let the ball run under his foot. I think he's more concerned about where it was going next.
Yeah.
And he's lost possession. It's a throw.
And also, Jim, he's more concerned that Dallow's going to get really close, really tight, challenge him, and someone else might be backing Dallow up ready as well to support him. But nice play from Fulham there defensively. Robinson and Anderson and Calvin Bassey dealing with that United threat and very quickly trying to get that out to their right hand side where Traore will want to get it and will want to run one-on-one against Yoro.
Delic with a long diagonal, inch perfect for Dallow, takes it into his stride. He's running in Castagna, works the angle, low ball in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, didn't make it any further than about 3 yards inside the penalty area because Lukic was able to get in the way. And now Anthony Robinson can calm things down at the back for Fulham and bring it forward. Fulham making 3 changes today. They rung the changes for the match during the week. No thought of a weekend team with Bassey, Iwobi and Robinson all recalled. Sessegnon, Diop and Cuenca the players that have made way. For United, Dorgu suspended. Garnacho doesn't feature in the 11. Don't know officially whether that is a reaction to his reaction the other night when he stropped off down the tunnel, having been substituted off. There was a bit of speculation that he was going to have a late fitness test, so it may be that he's not 100% anyway. Those are the 2 United changes with Mazraoui and Eriksson coming back in. It is a United team that bears very little resemblance to that won the cup final back in May. How much water has gone under the bridge since then? A lot of it murky. Leonard playing out from the back for Fulham. It's 0-0. We played 6 minutes here on TalkSport. Castagna forward towards Rodrigo Muñoz as well. Takes it on the half turn. Feeds Traore. Castagna making an early run and indicating that he wanted the ball dropped in between Yoro and Dallow. Traore just curves it inside the box now, but it was always curving into the hands of goalkeeper Onana, who could come out, make a comfortable catch and bowl it out quickly. 7 in, it's 0-0.
Yeah, first time Adama gets the ball at his feet and sets up Christian Eriksen. Eriksen does well actually, just kind of shuts the line off, allows Adama Traore to step inside, which he does on his left foot. The cross isn't a good one, straight into the hands of Onana.
Eriksen's got the ball on halfway. Christian Eriksen, who won the Dutch Cup very early in his career, but no FA Cup success for him. Just trying to release Zirkzee down the left-hand side of the penalty area here. And he's overhit it. It's gone out of play for a goal kick. One thing that is interesting is the relative home and away form. Now, you have to remember United have beaten Fulham here this season, but their record against sides outside the bottom 6 here at Old Trafford, 2 wins, a draw and 7 defeats. They've taken 7 points out of a possible 30 at home to the sides who are 1st to 14th in the table.
Yeah, that's not great.
Fulham, on the other hand, really good away from home against top 10 opposition. In fact, nobody has won more games away from home against sides in the top half of the Premier League this season than Fulham, who are tied with Manchester City on 3. So a fair few statistical pointers in Fulham's direction today. Neither goalkeeper's had anything to do so far. A little bit of shadow boxing going on. United probably the dominant force for the opening 8 minutes, but it's Fulham having a little bit more possession now with Bassi, and he goes back to his goalkeeper.
Yeah, quite calm and composed Fulham in possession early on. Again, which you would expect, not in a rush to serve it forward to Muniz and waiting for the right time before they knock it up to him, getting support in and around him, vital that is.
Played for by Anderson. Muniz has got Yoro making life difficult for him. And the young Frenchman able to get it away, but his ball forward gave Hoyland something to chase, no more than that. He couldn't get on the end of it. Now Fulham will win it back and bring it forward here with the former United man Pereira, helped on the turn by Muniz. Dama Traore's seen a fair bit of it in the early stages. He wants to try and get it towards the byline. A right-footed ball clipped in a little bit too high for Muniz, who got his head to it, couldn't divert it towards Pereira. United clear. Castagna is there first and goes back for Bassi, and Fulham will build from deep again.
Yeah, first time as we're approaching the 9th minute. Dama Traore gets the ball with a chance to set up and take Diogo Dalot on in the box. He does that very successfully, just stands that cross up a little bit big for Rodrigo Muniz. They have good numbers in the box. They're good quota of white shirts in and around that 6-yard box. They just couldn't get the delivery right.
Traore standing right in front of us, a bit bulging biceps and triceps and huge thighs. He comes to meet the ball now, controls the ball on halfway, lays it back for Lukic. Berger's done well, just turned and skipped away from the challenge of Zirkzee, and Alex Iwobi's going to be able to bring it forward. Iwobi's midway inside the United half as he releases Robinson. First time for him to try and take on Mazraoui. Stands the ball up inside the penalty area. It might have actually taken a little flick off the Moroccan on its way through, which looped it up and made Onana the overwhelming favourite. He comes out, catches it, and it remains 0-0 with 10 on the clock.
Yeah, Anthony Robinson doesn't need an invitation, does he, to attack and to fly forward. He's as good at that as probably any fullback in the division. He really is. And he will continue to do that. Mazraoui must, of course, offer a threat himself going forward, but be very mindful that Robinson will get on his bike and he will prepare to run 60, 70 yards time and time again.
Those are the dulcet tones of Republic of Ireland legend Andy Townsend alongside me here on Talk Sport and on Sirius XM FC as well, right across North America. A very good morning to you if you're listening in Canada or the United States to our coverage right across North America on what has been a thrilling FA Cup 5th round weekend with more than a touch of controversy as well. Another good long switch for United to Dalot, left-hand side of the area. Eriksson with time to measure the cross, just too high for Zirkzee, who stole the march on his marker. Now United can come again, picked up by Bruno Fernandes, edge of the area, right-footed. Goalkeeper saves, he got his body behind it at the near post, comes off Leno and goes out of play for the first corner.
Yeah, 11 minutes in, best bit of play from United that. The first bit of genuine, considered possession and threat. Lovely sweeping ball right to left to set it off initially. Eventually that cross from Eriksson just too big for Zirkzee. Eventually then it comes to Bruno Fernandes on the edge of the box. Lovely strike that gets saved and poked away for a corner.
Decent stop by Leno, whose last FA Cup appearance was a defeat here a couple of years ago. Corner comes in, a little bit too high for De Ligt. Cleared out as far as Ugarte, who pinged in a spectacular goal against Everton from that kind of range recently. United work it out to the right, and then another looping ball forward. Yoro still forward from the previous set-piece attack, but his head is not great, and it comes down towards the touchline where Traore can pick it up, and Lukic works it back for Anderson inside his own penalty area. So 12 minutes gone. I think United could claim to be the better side just about over the opening 12 minutes, although neither side have been able to do anything too constructive with their possession so far.
No, Zirkzee and Hoyland are playing up front. They are split a little bit. And in the midfield, Eriksson, Bruno Fernandes and Ugarte kind of rotating. Nobody absolutely, definitely in one position. They're all kind of having a little run forward occasionally, as well as being the one to hold and initiate things.
Now Pereira turned Fernandes, but De Ligt just stepped forward and got himself in the way. Now Hoyland is given something to chase, and Anderson is out there with it. Battle between the two Danish internationals. Here's another. Eriksson taking the ball on towards the edge of the box. Bassi turning calmly on the edge of his penalty area, can get it to safety in the form of Castagna, and Fulham can't maintain possession for long. Marco Silva far from happy about that. United have got it again. Fernandes, central position, 20 yards outside the box. Back he goes from him to Ugarte. That's Lenny Yoro, who's only got Maguire and his keeper behind him. And Yoro will then bring it forward and find Dalot. Nice little reverse ball down the left-hand touchline. Low ball in from Eriksson for Højlund's run, who got across his marker Bassi at the near post. But he didn't even hit the side netting with it.
I think that's a good chance. I think it's a very reasonable situation, this, for Rasmus Højlund. Because Christian Eriksen does great. He's in a real wide position on the left. He fires across along the floor. And Rasmus Højlund protects his position well, gets in front of Calvin Bassi on the left foot, 7 yards out, something like that. But he doesn't really hit it, and it never really convinces you that that sort of effort was going to really work. Bernd Leno in goal.
Here's Castagna. And his ball forward towards Pereira. Diverted back towards Traore. Maguire with a high up and under. Højlund coming to meet it, actually protected the space in front of where the ball was going to drop so that Zirkzee could come in there. Eriksson watches the ball drop over his shoulder, but Castagna's first to mop up. And now Fulham can bring it away with Robinson, the really highly regarded American international, over on the far touchline. His ball out towards Iwobi, and he couldn't control it. Almost inexplicably, Alex Iwobi has gone over the line and out of play for a throw that will be taken on the Manchester United right. Well, it's an interesting setup for United. A kind of variation on the norm, the 3-4-2-1. It is more of a 3-4-3 than we often see under Amorim. But Eriksson playing on the left of the three is a little bit of a curveball.
And he's got to play from behind the game, Jim. Christian Eriksen can't make those sort of runs to get in front of the two strikers, Zirkzee and Højlund, enough. He's got to have the ball to his feet rather than in front of him. So I think a big onus on Diogo Dalot to make sure that if they're going to switch it, he's the one that's available.
Bruno Fernandes wiring into a 50-50 in the heart of the midfield with Lukic. A free kick has been given Fulham's way. The ball's certainly there to be won, and neither player was going to be giving any quarter with a place in the quarters at stake. Fernandes furious that the decision has gone against him. Not the most controversial decision we've seen in Manchester United Fulham games in the FA Cup over the last couple of years. You'll remember the Willian handball, the penalty, Mitrovic pushing the referee, both of those sent off. Marco Silva then sent off in the immediate aftermath of all of that as well. United scored the resulting penalty, which was an equalising goal, got two more in the next 15 minutes to win the game 3-1. Went on to go all the way through to the cup final that year. The last time that Fulham knocked United out of the cup was back in 1908. United have progressed on each of the subsequent 9 occasions that the two have been drawn together. So Fulham will feel that they're due. Anderson, a long ball over the top of Dalot, who does well to drop back and hook it away with his right foot. Eriksson watches the bounce carefully, and then he just spoons it on for Højlund, who's given a little shove there by Anderson. He must have got the last touch. He's gone out of play for a throw which will be taken by United.
He bustles away, Rasmus Højlund, but I would like to see him somehow, when a ball is played forward towards him, get his body in a position where he can set someone up to take them on. He kind of backs his body in to protect the ball. I think he shows a lot of hallmarks of a striker that is suffering big time confidence-wise. He's kind of a bit reluctant to do the stuff he should be doing, but he's concentrating on the other.
Eriksson fired in a cross-come shot, which Leno elected to punch away spectacularly out towards the far touchline. And Mazraoui on the Manchester United right will mop up possession, and they'll be able to come again with the lift.
Nice strike that, Christian Eriksen. Good hit, right foot off the left side for United, so he's always going to curl that one back inside the far post. Acrobatically stopped from Leno.
He's got 4 goals this season. Christian Eriksen, they've all come in cup competition. Bassi playing the ball out towards Alex Iwobi on the Fulham left, who again is easily able to step away from Zirkzee, and then found himself blocked off. He's given the free kick away with Mazraoui getting in his way. A contact between the pair of them was inevitable, and it's a free kick which will be taken by Manchester United. 0-0 with 17 minutes gone here on TalkSport.
Yeah, competitive game as you would imagine, without so far really anything worthwhile happening in either 18-yard box. Both goalies in a lot of standing, watching, shouting, pointing, not really getting involved.
Ericsson. Back inside his own half for Yoro. And then Traore just got himself caught in a little game of piggy in the middle between the pair of them, and United are able to easily work it for Ericsson again. Now it goes out towards De Ligt, another crossfield ball from him. De Ligt for Dalot has been an effective avenue for United so far. That one, though, overhit, and it comes off Dalot's chest and goes out of play for a throw. You're listening to Manchester United against Fulham in the FA Cup. Game day exclusive on TalkSport with Carling, the official beer partner of the Emirates FA Cup. 18 plus. Please drink responsibly. Castagna taking the throw on the Fulham right. Another ball hooked forward towards halfway. Yoro beating Muñoz in the air, but he's just headed it straight out of play for a throw that will be taken on the Fulham right-hand side again. 18 gone. Still 0-0. Leno, the busier of the two goalkeepers, with the only notable save so far, and a half-decent one as well to knock a second subsequent effort away from Ericsson. Mazraoui shepherding the ball back for Onana, whose long clearance will come onto the head of Anderson, 20 yards outside the Fulham penalty area. Sanderberger's then there. And he can play forward towards the edge of the centre circle for Lukic. Lukic able to play today. He has got a Premier League ban coming up for an accrual of yellow cards, and he's just given another free kick away there. That Lukic-Fernandez battle, remember there was that 50-50 between them about 3 or 4 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Might take a little bit of watching, Andy.
That's good play that from Bruno Fernandes. The ball played into Lukic, and Bruno anticipating that onto it very quickly, intercepts, draws the foul from Lukic, so United get the ball back right on the halfway line.
Harry Maguire preparing to take this free kick for Manchester United. 0-0 on the day that Brighton have knocked Newcastle out. Victory at St James's Park in extra time. The second win on Tyneside for Brighton and Hove Albion this season, both coming with winning goals from Danny Welbeck. You heard it here live on TalkSport. This one live and exclusive here on the national radio station that brings you more football than anybody else. Here's Harry Maguire through the centre circle for Christian Eriksen. Toe poke forward from Ericsson. Zirkzee does really well. Lukic trying to foul him. Khan. And United work it out towards Dalot. Dallow's on the left-hand side of the penalty area, trying to get the ball past Castagna. Little ricochet off the pair of them. And Dalot trying to keep it in. Hooks his left foot underneath the ball. Stops it going out of play immediately for a goal kick, but he only put aside a couple of seconds. It will ultimately be a goal kick anyway. 0-0.
Yeah, Castagna's very good at that. He's a quick boy, and so those one-on-one situations Dalot finds himself in with the Fulham fullback. He's got to shift that ball out of his feet, I think, a little quicker. Don't get too close, too tight to Castagna, because he's very good at getting those blocks in and intercepting.
Pereira dropping deep through the midfield, diverting a forward ball out towards Robinson, who got no chance of keeping it in.
Forward play from both teams so far has been limited, been rather ordinary. After 21 minutes, particularly Fulham, every time they try and serve it forward up to Muniz or Pereira, the ball breaks down, and they need to sharpen up with their basics.
There's Calvin Bassey, one of the players recalled into the Fulham side today. Anderson out to Castagna on the right-hand edge of his own penalty area. Lukic takes the ball on the edge of the D with his back to the direction of play, just works it the way that he's facing, back towards Bassey. And try and get Iwobi forward, and De Ligt again, who's had a good start of the game, stepping up briskly from the defensive line to win that rumbustriously. But the loose ball cannons away and goes out of play for a goal kick that Bert Leno will take away to our left-hand side. United, the current holders, 13-time cup winners, haven't lost in the 5th round of the competition since back in 2006. Got a really good record at this stage. They've won their last 14 5th-round ties, including victories against West Ham and at Nottingham Forest last season, over the last couple of years. It was a relatively late Casemiro goal that got the job done at this stage 12 months ago. Zirkzee looking for Højlund, the two can't link up, and then there's a push by Zirkzee on Bassey, which has given Fulham another free kick about 15 yards inside their own half. We're midway through the first half, and I think it's fair to say, Andy, that better footballing exchanges lie ahead than what we've seen so far.
Yeah, either team really able to get to grips and start to dominate the game in any area, really, quite frankly.
Robinson with a little bit of trickery. Can't get past Mazraoui. Right-footed, it's hooked in by Iwobi. And straight into the hands of Andre Onana. Comfortable playing from him. He's not really attacking the ball in the same way that maybe Raul Jimenez would if he was leading the Fulham line today. Onana waiting some more before eventually deciding to play the ball, and even then all he's done is drop it by the penalty spot. No thoughts of a Fulham press in this situation, so he can literally inch the ball forward to the edge of the penalty area before eventually side-footing out to Yoro, and when he goes back to Onana, that's when the press is applied. He does get it away, headed back by Anderson. Loose ball picked up by Adama Traore. Boot raised towards the ducking head of Dalot, and it's a free kick which will be taken by United. And Onana just being applauded there by Dalot for the way that he dealt with the press.
Yeah, United, the reason why they have difficulty constructing anything so far, they're playing with wing-backs, Dalot on the left, Mazraoui on the right. And when you have full-backs in those wing-back positions, they're kind of, I think, they're a little more reluctant with how high they want to start, how far they want to push. That's a bad ball there.
And Pereira has seized upon it. It was De Ligt with the error. Pereira then goes down 3 yards outside the penalty area, and a yellow card is shown. It was De Ligt that started that, put under pressure by Iwobi. Pereira brings it forward, and Agate knew he couldn't take any chances. They were covering defenders. Bruno's back goal side. Yep. So it's a yellow card, not a red.
Poor ball from De Ligt. He actually chested the ball down wide on the right-hand side. He's the right of the three centre-halves, De Ligt, and he chested the ball down. He knows Ugate's there. He has a look down the line, and then by the time he decides to give it to Agate, he's already moved and gone. And you do that as a midfield player. When someone's got the ball, you look at him, you make eye contact. If he doesn't give it to you there and then, you then move your position. You're told to do that. And of course, De Ligt gives it to Agate, who's then well out of position. Pereira picks the ball up, sprints towards the edge of the box, and then is hauled down. Ugarte gets the yellow card, and Fulham have a genuine opportunity here to work Onana.
That's an 11th yellow card of the season. More significantly, though, for Ugarte, it's his second in this competition. And that means he'll be suspended for the quarterfinals for Manchester United to get there. So United have lined up a 5-man wall, or 4, and Eriksen standing almost in the wall as well. And it's Sasha Lukic that is standing over the free kick. Little right-footed, clipped effort. About 2.5, 3 feet off the ground. Robinson's subsequent effort much closer to goal. But even that one, without Onana scurrying, was always going high and wide. A real waste of a good situation.
Yes, it was. Giant wall, though, United put in front of that Sasha Lukic free kick. But the strike from the Fulham midfielder was a poor one. As you say, Jim, about 3 foot off the floor. Hit the guys who all jumped on the shins.
And Marco Silva can't hide his frustration again. Dalot. Hoyland getting there ahead of Bassi. And Lukic will try and bring it forward. And Fernandes has won it back. And he'll come towards the edge of the penalty area and get a little return ball from Zirkzee, but it didn't quite fall his way. Maguire stepping up, and he's given it away. And then Traore's given it away in kind, and catches Bruno Fernandes. It's a free kick to Manchester United. Really scrappy at times.
Yeah.
Then Pereira gets a yellow card for dissent.
It is really scruffy football at the moment from both teams. I've got to say, when they're in possession with no pressure really, people are just giving it to the opposing shirts. I mean, it's quite basic stuff what's happening at the minute. It's a really, really poor little spell, but it ends up with a United free kick. And they've sent De Ligt and Maguire and everybody forward.
Christian Eriksen, the man that is standing over this. Hands on his hips. Pereira, a one-man, almost unemployed wall where he's standing. Well, he's made his way back now. In fact, Traore's come forward, but there's no way that Eriksen's going to try and shoot from here. It's about 42, 43 yards out. He's bent the ball in deep towards the back post, and the offside flag is up. It was just delivered high towards the far side. I think it was Maguire that at the far post was judged to have been offside as he headed the ball back in. Fulham taking the free kick relatively quickly. And Maguire has just got to go up through the gears to make sure that he's back in defensive position. Fernandes actually did well to cover for him while he was making his way back. Fulham have still got it, but Berger's first touch was a poor one. His second touch almost ended up being a tackle. He was able to divert it back to Anderson, and Castagna now can get his foot on the ball and bring it forward here for Fulham. It's 0-0. We played 28 minutes at Old Trafford. Live on TalkSport and Sirius XM FC in North America, and still pretty much chanceless.
Just struggling to see why. And we'll just see how this develops with Muniz. Just drops it back to Alex Iwobi on the far side. Just trying to see why Jim Bruno is the one who's sitting and he's allowing Ugarte and Eriksson to play in front of him, when to me it's crying out with Xerxes and Højlund, two young lads up front who just want to run. There's nothing particularly special about either of those two guys up front. They need someone in and around them that can provide for them, find a clever little bit of space, and who has the quality to produce. I just don't get why Eriksson, look, great a player as he's been, he doesn't have the power or the legs to play there. Just doesn't have that.
Lukic on the edge of the centre circle, bringing the ball forward here for Fulham. Down towards Castagna. Castagna to Lukic. Lukic is 6 or 7 yards in for the right-hand touchline. And Castagna made an uncharted run forward for a moment there. Dallo just keeping an eye on him. Traore, Muniz again able to take the ball on the half-turn as he just tried then to feather it out towards Castagna, who's played it behind him, and it goes straight out for a throw that will be taken on the United left. And there have been so many misplaced passes through the opening 29 minutes. The stakes undoubtedly high. Fulham, remember, never won this competition. A number of sides left in it who've never won it. Two Manchester sides who won it the last couple of years. They're both still in, of course, but the next side back, if you like, to have won the FA Cup who's still in it is Ipswich, and I was only 5 when they won it, which just tells you how long ago it was. An opportunity for De Ligt to bring it forward out towards the right-hand touchline. Villa won it in the 50s. But most of the sides that are still in, or a lot of the sides that are still in, have never won it. The likes of Bournemouth and Brighton and Fulham. Another chance for Manchester United to get it forward here. Højlund potentially just a little bit too far forward as the ball was played. Flag stayed down. Bassey got there anyway. Now the flag is way because it was a real firm challenge on Calvin Bassey. And it's going to be a free kick which will be taken over on the Fulham left-hand side. It's 0-0.
Good play from Calvin Bassey there. It looked like Rasmus Højlund was favourite actually to get on the end of that ball down the line. Bassey did well, got his body in, protected it, and eventually draws a foul from Mazraoui. But the game really, for half an hour, has been very untidy. Neither team able to really establish a proper foothold in the game. There are situations that you think something might happen, and then a poor pass, lack of class, sloppy control, all of a sudden the game breaks down again.
And let's get an update from the WSL. Here's Ian Abrahams.
Full-time Brighton 2, Chelsea 2. Chelsea led through Sandy Baltimore's volley before Brighton led at a break through Osilaga's and then also Lasada's goals. But Lauren James in the second half equalised for Chelsea. Only the second time this season they failed to win a WSL game. Finished here Brighton 2, Chelsea 2.
Thank you, Moose. Iwobi with the ball inside the penalty area. Doesn't quite get there. Eriksson blocks it. Then Fernandes plays it forward straight to Berger. Lukic, referee, has to take evasive action because he was blocking his path to play down towards Castagna. Got it out of the way and the Belgian was played in. Castagna then laying it back for Lukic. Muniz making a run towards the edge of the box. Checks and goes back then towards Sander Berger again. Fall from him. It won't be coming in off the left flank. Chari waiting in plenty of space on the right. Dallo defending pretty narrow at times, bearing in mind he's on the left-hand side of a 5, and that's just giving space for Adama Traore. Back from him to Castagna, ball in, and it dipped horribly in front of Onana. Maguire left it for his goalkeeper, but it barely got there. He almost took it at Yorker length, and he was able to gather at the second attempt.
Exactly right, Jim. It was never getting to the goal. I think he thought Maguire was going to deal with it, and Maguire kind of just let that travel, and it almost bounced at the feet of the goalkeeper from that Castagna cross. Could have gone anywhere. That is definitely the sort of cross a goalie should be screaming for, coming out and claiming with real confidence. And Arna on his heels, waiting for Maguire to do something, scream at him, tell him.
Well, I think Onana probably, like Hoyland and Zirkzee at the other end of the pitch, are just struggling with the slight lack of confidence at the moment. He's only kept one clean sheet in his last 16 games, although that did come against Fulham. One of the players featuring today who did start the FA Cup final last season, as did Dalot and Bruno Fernandes, and that is it. So only 3 of the 11 that started last season's final starting today, and that just shows you how quickly things have changed for Manchester United over the last 10-11 months or so. They've got a free kick to defend here. Lukic will stand over this. This one will get plenty of air underneath it. It's going to have to. Because he is 20 yards outside the penalty area. United will keep a line that is on the edge of the D. He's using that D as a reference point. De Ligt, Maguire, Zirkzee, Yoro, all standing there. Now dropping deep. The ball not square for Pereira. Pereira over the top. Mazraoui, not too sure who was where. Saw he won't be out of the corner of his eye and scooped it away to give Fulham their first corner of the day.
Yeah. They could have put that one directly into the box. They went square. Sometimes you do that just to get everybody moving and just initiate maybe a run, or a striking might just drop into a better position. As it is, it wasn't the best free kick, but it does end up with a corner to Fulham.
34 gone on TalkSport, and it is still 0-0. Corner to be taken in front of the travelling Fulham supporters. Swept in, out comes the goalkeeper, and gave Yoro a shout, took it off the head of his defender. That was a good, comfortable claim. I mean, that is an area where you would imagine United could get hurt today.
Yes.
Certainly in the Premier League, they've conceded a stack of goals.
They have.
Conceding corners.
They have indeed, you're right. That was better from Andre Onana. Absolutely put a big name on that and come and grabbed it, and nice and clean with his hands.
Now Yoro plays the ball back to him. And he has a really unorthodox body shape as he tries to control the pass. He did get it away with his left foot. Dalot then loops one over the top towards halfway. Zirkzee and Ugarte able to bring it further forward for Manchester United. And Ugarte will turn and then chip it into space for Dalot. Dalot against Castagna is a battle that we've seen a few times in this first 45 minutes, but he doesn't try and take him on this time. Just works it back towards Yoro instead. Now he gets a second chance, and she played it forward towards Ugarte. Ugarte with a little 1-2 with Eriksson, but they had no room to work down the left-hand side. It was all very hemmed in, and it's come off Ugarte and goes out for a Fulham throw.
Well, look, the United fans are used to seeing highly technical players, quick players in those wide areas. Whenever they get the ball in midfield, they're looking forward into those wide areas, and you see 2 fullbacks, one of them playing on the wrong side, really, Dalot, even though he has played on the left an awful lot. So they're finding it difficult to get out and get up the pitch. As I said, the 2 young lads up front, Zirkzee and Hoyland, they just battle and bustle away, but they don't have any quality, or I ain't seen any signs of it so far.
And those 2 also in desperate need of a goal. Hoyland 17 without one, and Zirkzee scored once in his last 15 games, which was an FA Cup goal against Leicester in round 4. Anthony Robinson in possession for Fulham. I haven't really seen him burst forward
not as much,
many times as we would have anticipated, Andy.
Yeah, you're right. And I think that's because, look, Fulham haven't been great either, Jim.
They try and get Traore away on the right-hand side now. The ball coming down towards the corner flag. Traore can't control it. Dalot trying to block the cross. Traore, the third time of asking, tries to deliver one. Yoro's ball out was a little bit lackadaisical. The subsequent cross comes in from Pereira, that's cleared. Robinson, Pereira then misses his kick. Yoro slices it away, but that will do, gets towards halfway. Anderson heads it forward. Castagna then down towards Traore, he's controlled it, plays it back for Lukic. And Fulham trying to get a grip of the game in the midfield at the moment. Bassi back out towards Robinson. 8 to go to half-time at 0-0. Coming in off that left flank. Good ball in from Iwobi, and Lukic meeting it. It just got big on him a little bit quickly, and he had to try and temper his run. He couldn't throw himself at it. His header ended up going over the bar. He just had to check his stride, and that made it a slightly more difficult chance, but he missed it by some distance.
Oh, it was a great opportunity there. He just didn't adjust his feet very well in order to jump. But he's totally let go by Zirkzee. The 3 midfield players are all under the ball. He could throw a blanket over the 3 of them. And he's just able to make a run on the blind side there. Sasha Lukic, but he doesn't really jump, he doesn't get it, and it's from about 7-8 yards out. That's a really good opportunity. If he gets a decent head on that, that ends up in the back of the net.
4 or 5 feet wide from Lukic, who still hasn't scored a goal this season. Is Pereira controlling the ball on the turn, but showing far too much of it to Bruno Fernandes. He knocks it square. Mazraoui with a little step over, knowing De Ligt was coming in behind him, and his first time cross deflects away, and it goes out of play for a corner. I don't think I've ever seen Marco Silva so disconsolate.
Yeah. Maybe he's recognising that he's up against a very fragile looking United team here, and his own boys just aren't really there. They're not quite where he'd like them to be level-wise. As I mentioned, there shouldn't be any reason why away from home Fulham are struggling for confidence. They've been terrific. They should be knocking that ball about a little bit smoother and slicker than they have.
They've won twice as many games on the road as they've had defeats in the Premier League. In comes this second Manchester United corner. Anderson going up for it. I think it was Munoz that got there. Ugarte then tries his luck from outside the D, and that took a deflection on its way through, and United have another corner.
Yeah, it wasn't one of Ugarte's finest strikes, not like the one he got up at Goodison a couple of weeks ago. I think it's going well wide actually, hits Castagna, who's trying to get out of the way of it, and it goes out for another corner off, this time off United's left hand side, but it looks like Bruno Fernandes is going to whip in under that bar.
Yeah, that goal he scored at Goodison was his first league goal for 4 years, so I don't think he's necessarily expecting anything anytime soon. But here's another corner. They'll come in from the left hand side, and out comes Leno and punches it away. Ugarte again, hooking it in, first time. Anderson with the shock of blonde hair, able to knock the ball away from the edge of his own 6-yard box. United doing well, great persistence to win it back over on the far touchline. Fernandes dropping off into space and demanding the ball from Lenny Yoro. The Frenchman will come forward, and only now does he play the pass. Fernandes in receiving it, almost level with the edge of the penalty area, diverting a brisk ball in. Zirkzee getting there first, but heading it a couple of yards wide.
Yep, Bruno Fernandes probably for the first time drifting out onto the left hand side to just see if he can find a bit of space, whips the ball in towards Zirkzee, and who's well marshalled by Calvin Bassey on the corner of the 6-yard box. Looks like Zirkzee does get there first, but it's never really worrying Leno. I just think that United must make the change. They've got to push Bruno further forward. I just do not understand why Ugarte, who wants to just run around and get close to people, Christian Eriksen hasn't got the power or the legs anymore to play in a wider midfield position, but for some reason Amorim has got Bruno sat there just in front of Maguire and Lenny Yoro and De Ligt, trying to orchestrate everything. They need him. Those boys up front need him closer, where he can link with those guys, get his shots away, and just make something happen from an attacking point of view.
Now with 41 minutes in, it's 0-0. Possession almost exactly 50-50. Fulham just shading it. And in terms of attempts, it's 6-3 United. And Fulham yet to have an effort on goal. Here's Ugarte turning in the midfield and rifling the ball from close range straight into the shin pads of Sander Berge. Now Leno scampering out from a central position to the right hand side of his penalty area. It took his time in getting there. Eventually Fulham get it away, and now they can clear towards Pereira, and Pereira dashing down the right hand side of the box, really well defended by Yoro. He blocked the cross and was able to then to bring it away himself, until a really loose touch just gave Lukic an opportunity to win it back right in front of Marco Silva. Yoro, in trying to remedy the situation, has caught Lukic, and the Serbs want a free kick.
Yeah, chance of a little break there for Fulham. Lovely run from Andreas Pereira. He had the chance to maybe cross it, but only one in the box, and then he just delayed that, and Lenny Yoro did really well to pinch it off him, stride forward, but eventually again poor touch in front of him, ran it into trouble, and he concedes a free kick. Fulham back on the ball
with Lukic to Berge to Castagna, and Castagna coming forward. Marco Silva again standing on the corner of his technical area, hands outstretched, now turns away, throws his right arm disdainfully across his body, hammering down his familiar crouching position on the edge of his technical area. Fulham have got a lousy record against United. Fulham have only won one of the last 21 games between these two, which was the win here at Old Trafford last season. Stoppage time goal from Alex Iwobi, getting them over the line that time. Here's Anderson, 5 yards inside his own half, and we've just seen another couple of moments of dubious quality, Andy.
Yeah, I'm looking at the body language of the two coaches. Marco Silva's down on his haunches. Ruben Amorim is consistently dropping to his knees and standing up and turning his back on proceedings of what's going on. I don't think I've ever seen two coaches so fed up with what they're seeing.
It hasn't been great in terms of quality. 43 minutes gone. Of course, that doesn't matter one iota. All that matters is who's in the draw, which you will hear around 5 or 6 minutes after the conclusion of this game here on TalkSport. Remember earlier today, Brighton going through after extra time at Newcastle. Man City, Bournemouth, Villa, Palace and Preston all through as well. Forest take on Ipswich tomorrow. That is game number 8 in the 5th round over the course of this weekend. We'll have brought 7 of the 8 live to you on the TalkSport network. That one from the East Midlands tomorrow, kicking off at 8 here on TalkSport. Sasha Lukic in possession, poking it forward again for Sander Berge. A game that really needs a goal. Traore, Castagna, corner. And Fulham have their second flag kick of the day.
That's better. 6 or 7 passes there. And then Fulham eventually get it towards the byline. Adama Traore goes to stand across up, and it's well defended by Bruno Fernandes. But it is another opportunity for Fulham now. As we're getting it right on half-time, Jim. Good chance this.
Pereira coming across to take it. Raises his right arm above his head. And Scotty Iwobi showing for a short one on the dead ball line. Lukic unmarked on the corner of the penalty area. Pereira does flag it inside the box where Maguire can win it. Lukic wins the seconds. Eriksson chasing after that. High up and under from Robinson, diverting it back out towards Pereira, and the loose ball breaks off him. Castagna's going to get there first. He's let it run, seeing a United touch, so it'll be another corner. 1 minute of added time at the end of this first half, and we're in it now. It starts with a third Fulham corner. Pereira again across to take it. Iwobi takes up that identical position. He's 12 yards away from the corner taker in a straight line, right on the goal line. Pereira swinging this one in. First contact for Muniz, and then he's headed in by Calvin Bassett. It's Fulham that strike first. A set piece, Manchester United's undoing again. And in first half stoppage time, it's Fulham that lead. The United fans immediately pile out onto the concourse for their half-time refreshments. 45 minutes where neither side have been great, but United's inability to defend the set piece comes back to haunt them yet again. Calvin Bassett, 1-0 Fulham.
Yeah, it's a decent ball in actually from Andreas Pereira, because there's always going to be an outswinger, but he pulls it out, kind of whips it away from the goal a little further to allow Anthony Robinson to make that first contact. Not sure who was marking Robinson initially. It's actually Rodrigo Muniz, I think, who makes that first contact, and then Calvin Bassett at the back post. He just manages to steal a yard on Mazraoui, who's ball watching a little bit, and he's got the simple task, just put your head on this and it ends up in the back of the net. Does really well. Onana can't stop it, and Fulham have a really important lead today, because United haven't stitched 6 passes together. Honestly, as an attacking threat, they've been non-existent.
Calvin Bassett has scored 3 goals in his Fulham career. 2 of them have been here at Old Trafford. A familiar story at half-time. United, who've been beaten at home 7 times this season, trail again. Calvin Bassett with a header from a set piece in first half stoppage time. United with it all to do. Fulham lead by a goal to 0. Well, the only way that this wreck of a campaign can be salvaged for United is with silverware and by getting into Europe. Last season it was the FA Cup final that threw Erik ten Hag an unlikely lifeline, one of those heady spring days that seems an age ago. Can they rescue something again? They've got 2 chances, and one of those could be extinguished in the next 45 minutes. Fulham leading 1-0. And if they can hold on to it, United's season will be left hanging by a single thread. No changes in personnel, although Harrison Reed was out warming up during the half-time interval. We are back underway. United kicking from left to right. Red shirts, white shorts, and black socks. Fulham in their customary colours as well, of white shirts and black shorts. United getting the ball forward and winning an early throw, which will be taken over on the far touchline. The opening seconds of the second half. 1-0 Fulham lead. Fernandes beating Pereira. Ball headed away by Berger. Helped on by Pereira. Brought down well by Rodrigo Muniz, who then got to the loose pickings ahead of Harry Maguire. Works it out towards Iwobi on the Fulham right. Back from him to Castagna. Castagna to Anderson and down towards Bassi, and now Robinson shows for the ball on the Fulham left, although the Whites goal scorer will turn it forward towards Sander Berger instead. United lining up Onana in goal, Delict, Maguire and Yoro, Mazraoui and Dalot as wing-backs, Fernandes sitting in midfield, Ugarte ahead of him as a central midfielder, then Eriksson on the left and Zirkzee on the right, tucked in support of Rasmus Højlund up front. Give you the Fulham side in a moment. They're on the front foot here. Traore with a couple of step-overs, getting the ball in, but only into the side netting. Leno in goal for Fulham, Castagna, Anderson, Bassi and Robinson, Lukic and Berger, Traore, Pereira and Iwobi, and Muniz is up front. That Traore cross was deflected, and it's an early Fulham corner in the second half, Andy.
Yeah, so obviously, Jim, United have to make 100% sure that they do not give anything sloppy away from wide free kicks, from corners, from the stuff that is really down to their basics. They've got to get that all right. Just looking at Adama Traore, he clattered into the boards behind the goal there as he was trying to cross that one, but Fulham just about to knock this one into the box.
So it's going to be another Pereira corner. Scored from the last set piece in the first half. Plenty of whip on this one as well. Ugarte's there to head it away. Comes out for Robinson. Hits a first-time half-volleyed ball out towards Pereira. Nicely done by him and hooked over the top for Castagna. High looping ball in from him. The offside flag is up though. And it'll be a free kick to United inside their own penalty area. 2.5 minutes gone in the second half. Fulham still lead it by a goal to nil.
The best way for Fulham to protect this lead that they have, go and get another, be brave enough to try and score again. Now they will of course be composed in possession when they have to be, but they've got to make sure they continue to threat and don't just start to drop away and allow United to have some momentum. And I've seen United so many times this season, Jim, and they just had those moments. Well beaten at Goodison for 70 minutes and all of a sudden out of nothing. To their credit, they kept going and they get something out of the game. Go behind against Ipswich, they turn that round. So they can do this here, make no mistake. If Fulham sit off them, then they will allow them to gradually start to get on the ball.
Now, this is the 6th successive game in which United have gone 1-0 down. In fact, the 17th out of the last 22 in which they've conceded the first goal, which is an astonishing statistic. Fernandes playing the ball out towards the United left-hand side. Dalot with the cross. That's hit Castagna. Goes down towards the corner flag where Dalot tries to shepherd the ball over the line. Castagna stops that happening, but only at the expense of a Manchester United throw. Have come back to win 4 games from 1-0 down in the league this season. A couple of cup ties as well, so they've done it 6 times. They've been able to turn it around. Could argue all they've got to do in this one is get an equaliser and take the game into extra time, but they trail 1-0 and that clock is going to be ticking on pretty quickly from a Manchester United perspective. 49 gone at the moment. Got it now. They've played it in towards Højlund. Højlund back out to the left for Dalot. To Yoro. Playing on the left of the 3 centre-halves again, and he goes all the way back to his goalkeeper, Onana. Side footed fall from him to Delict. No change in the Manchester United formation in this second half, with Fernandes still much the deepest of the midfielders. Eriksson making a run ahead of him here. Anderson clears from his compatriot, and it's out for a Manchester United throw-in.
Yeah, Diogo Dalot knocking one down the line. Eriksson gamely running after it, but that isn't a strength of his at this stage of his career, and Anderson able to get across and prevent that from developing any further.
773rd game of Christian Eriksen's career today, as United try and work the ball in. Dalot, and again it's easily knocked away, high up and under from Anderson out towards the far touchline, where Traore will control it. Bruno is in there sticking his foot in to win it back. Ericsson then pokes it on towards Ugarte. Ugarte to Christian Eriksen again in the Fulham half of the centre circle. Mazraoui. Marco Silva is indicating to Traore to go down because he's picked up that knot. Remember, he had the collision with the hoardings at the start of this second half. Castagna now heads the ball out of play. Traore has gone down. Fulham are going to be making a change. He's not going to be able to continue by the look of it.
No, and that's a blow in the sense for Fulham that because of his pace, he will always worry defences. Adama Traore. It depends exactly who Marco Silva wants to replace him with.
Well, it looks like he's going to be Smith Rowe.
Right. Well, again, Emile Smith Rowe won't want to play in a too wide a position for too long. He's going to have to play sort of half and half, drifting out wide occasionally, but then tucking in a little bit more. But Adama Traore is still on the floor, giving Fulham a chance to actually make that change and get someone ready to go, because they weren't really ready to make that.
Well, he's been struggling with an ankle problem, Smith Rowe. Wasn't involved in the matchday squad at all for the win at Wolves on Tuesday night, but he's going to be coming on here to replace Adama Traore, so it's going to be a very different type of challenge now for Diogo Dalot.
Yeah, it will be. It just might encourage Dalot to maybe make his starting position a little further forward. We're seeing Emile Smith Rowe getting ready now. He's got all the information where he was picking up, where he is in the wall, etc, etc. United about to make a change as well, Jim.
So Fulham will make the first one, and Smith Rowe is getting the nod. Michael Salisbury, the fourth official, has the numbers board in his hand. Darren Bond, I beg your pardon, with the numbers board in his hand. The final instructions being given to Smith Rowe. Traore, at the moment, is still making his way off the field. Very gingerly, just shuffling over towards this near side. He's able to leave the field under his own steam. The United change might end up being a double. Victor Lindelof is getting ready, and Alejandro Garnacho can't be put on the cotton wool any longer. Needs must. So a double United change as well. The first player to be replaced is Ugarte. So Ugarte's number up, and he sprints off the field so the Garnacho can come on to replace him, and Lenny Yoro will be replaced by Lindelof.
Yeah, which again we'll have to wait and see exactly where everybody is deployed and how they line up. Victor Lindelof running straight over towards Harry Maguire, as you would imagine, on the left side of those three. Doesn't look like there's going to be too much of a change at the back. Let's see where Garnacho figures and where he can start to affect the game. How they need him. They need his threat, they need his spontaneity, they need that bit of magic that he's got.
And so with Ugarte coming off, that means that it's now Ericsson dropping back alongside Bruno Fernandes, if anybody is going to drop back. And so that's arguably even less of a tackle. Well, not arguably, it is even less of a tackle in the heart of midfield for Manchester United than they had before.
Yeah. We'll have a good look over the next couple of minutes, Jimmy. Exactly. Bruno Fernandes still in that deep line central midfield position. And it looks like Garnacho has gone off on the left-hand side. Christian Eriksen will play where Ugarte was, on the right of that midfield three, if you like.
All out for a throw that'll be taken by the Fulham left-back Anthony Robinson, the American national team player of the year. There's a clash of heads there between Nunez and Maguire. Nunez just ducking his head in slightly later, and Harry Maguire runs away immediately, just gives his head a rub and then takes up station on the edge of the area. The applause you can hear for Lenny Yoro as he's made his way round, having been substituted off on the far touchline. He's come round to the United bench now in front of us. Free kick to United, which Ericsson will take. We're 9 minutes into the second half. Cup holders looking for an equaliser. Ball just too far ahead of Zirkzee, and Ericsson turns away, looks at Amorim, puts his arms out as if to say, I put that in a perfect position, but there's no one there to attack it.
That is a decent ball in. Might be a fraction over here, but there's nobody made the run at the back post beyond Xerxes. It was always too big for him, but they had Lindelof and Maguire, and they're all standing there watching it a bit.
Well, he dropped that, so it bounced right on the edge of the 6-yard box.
Yeah, you'd have thought someone would have took a chance, Jim, and had a go to get on the end of that.
10 minutes into the second half. Sorry, Andy, it's still Fulham leading 1-0.
And I do think
as Fulham could break here with Muniz running towards the edge of the penalty area. Smith Rowe in support, the ball was behind him. Then the stumble from Mazraoui wasn't a costly one from a United perspective. He was back on his feet and cleared his lines.
I was just about to say, I do think Fulham have got to start to do more. They've gone a bit passive for the last 5 minutes. United have made a couple of changes. They've made one themselves, but they have to do more. They have to get on the ball and start looking like they can threaten United far more than they have so far in this second period.
Robinson's got the ball in his hands right in front of us, preparing to take a throw. Arches the back, hurls it forward. And Mazraoui is in there, and again battling for an aerial ball with Rodrigo Muniz, and it goes out of play for a throw that will be taken on the Fulham left-hand side. So you can name 9 subs for the FA Cup. As you know, such a bit Manchester United's injury problems. They've named 2 young keepers, neither of whom have ever played for the club. Even young Eli Harrison can't feature today. He's cup-tied. He would have been on the bench as the goalkeeper, but can't play. Lindelof and Garnacho are on. The only other substitutes that are left for United for outfield players, Casemiro, Aidan Heaven and Chido Obi. So Casemiro is the only one of those 3 that has ever started a game for the club. That's all they got left on the bench. They only named 5 outfield players when they could have named 8. United bringing the ball forward. Goes out towards Dallow. Stands up across. Mazraoui coming to attack it. Headed it into the ground. On target. Easy save though for Bernd Leno, who just took a couple of quick steps to his right-hand side and was able to clutch the ball after it bounced.
Better move down the left side. Bruno to Garnacho. Travelled with the ball as you would expect. 6 or 7 yards. Looked to his left. Give it to Dallow. Stood across up to the back post. And the opposite wing-back, Mazraoui, made a good run. Decent header, but no problem for Bernd Leno.
Manchester United back in action, as you know, Thursday night. They go to Real Sociedad, and we'll have live commentary of that game. Sociedad mid-table in the Spanish League. It's a 5:45 kickoff, the first leg of that Europa League tie. It's live on Talk Sport. Darren Bend alongside me for that. Between now and then, more Champions League action, including Villa, Arsenal, Liverpool, and Bayern Munich against Bayer Leverkusen. We've got all of those games for you on the TalkSport network Tuesday and Wednesday, and the FA Cup returns and concludes tomorrow, the 5th round, as Forest take on Ipswich. By then they'll know who they're playing, because the draw for the quarterfinals comes at the immediate conclusion of today's game. And at the moment it's Fulham's name in the hat. They lead 1-0 with 13 gone in the second half here on TalkSport and across North America on Sirius XM FC. Here's Bassey turning and playing it back for Anderson.
Nice play from Fulham moments ago. Emil Smith Rowe getting his first touches in, and he'll do that well. He will knit the team together nicely. He'll have to play defensively a little bit wider at times, but he's got the freedom to roam anywhere really, just in and around that midfield area, and he's always available. You can trust him with the ball, so they can knock it into him knowing that he'll get on the half turn, and then can maybe start feeding Andreas Pereira, who's gone out of the game really at the moment, a little bit quiet.
Leno launches a long one forward. Maguire can head that away. Headed back, looking for Smith Rowe. Fernandes turns that one clear, and he's just whacked it forward. There's nobody from United giving chase.
Even chase after it. I mean, Bruno's knocked a 40-yard ball up in the air. It's not a great ball. The Xerxes on the other side, he can't get it. Højlund just allows Bassey just to knock it back to the goalie. Now, when you've got young lads up front, if they ain't going to run, this was labelled at Rashford. If you're not going to turn and run and sprint and really look like you mean to do it, you're going to be in trouble here.
Robinson will bring it forward. Tries to get it away from Mazraoui. De Ligt can pick it up though. Fernandes to Maguire. Oh, he gave Fernandes a horrible return ball, with Muniz and Pereira both converging on him. He did well to deal with it, Bruno. He's laid it back for Maguire, but the Home crowd, as you can hear, just getting a little restless, urging their side on. Haven't had the choruses of attack yet. Castagna, here's Garnacho. First chance for him, really, since coming on. Ball played back. Victor Lindelof's got it, who was a teammate of Amorim in Portuguese football earlier in his career. Back down towards Nusa Mazraoui. Ties to the left. Christian Eriksen takes over. For Maguire again. Home crowd really finding their voice, sensing that their team desperately need them. Desperately need something. Played an hour. It's 1-0 Fulham. Garnacho getting to the byline. Good ball in, a little bit high for Mazraoui, but nice shape on the cross from a better position, and that was much more inventive from Manchester United.
Well, that's better because the ball's not wide to a guy who's a winger in a wing-back position. So his first thought, I'm going to take someone on. He drives to the byline, stands a pretty reasonable cross-up. It just evades everybody at the back post, but that's better from Garnacho.
61 gone. Manchester United 0, Fulham 1. Last Fulham keeper to keep a clean sheet here at Old Trafford was Tony Macedo back in 1963. If Bernd Leno can do that, United are out of the cup. Here's Bruno Fernandes from distance on his right foot. Comfortably saved by Leno. Saw it coming. Fernandes did well to work it back onto his right, but he was fully 26-27 yards out, and he got the direction on it, but Leno was able to take a step to his left and dive down and save it.
Pretty comfortable save from Bernd Leno, but lo and behold, Bruno Fernandes taking a shot 20-odd yards out, and it's on target, and it forces the keeper to put his hands on it. That's better from him.
And Maguire heads it forward. Hoyland will chase this. Gone back for Leno, who will take a touch and he'll clear, getting the ball forward over halfway. Lukic then heads it on, brought down by Pereira, who makes 70-odd appearances for Manchester United. Brings the ball under neat control and feeds Robinson. Robinson square to his right for Smith Rowe.
Jim, good homework, Tony Macedo. Good stat that.
Thank you very much indeed. I'm guessing he doesn't get mentioned that often these days.
Probably don't.
Here's Smith Rowe. Down towards Robinson. Sander Berge. Back towards Calvin Bassey. And Bassey will take it on and bring it through the centre circle. You remember Tony Macedo?
No, I don't. With respect, Tone.
Well, he speaks really highly of you. Here's Berger in the midfield. Goes out towards the right-hand touchline for Iwobi, who's stationed over there now that Traore has gone off. Bruno Fernandes winning it back, and Lindelof plays it forward.
I thought you were going to say Jerry Payton. I would have known Jerry. Played with Jerry, of course.
The referee's just checked his watch, because the game's going to be stopping in a moment, so those that are fasting for Ramadan will be able to get some refreshment on board. Probably the next break in play. Smith Rowe brings it forward. Robinson to his left-hand side. Robinson first time ball inside the penalty area. Pereira laying it back. It's Emil Smith Rowe, and it almost crept in. Hanana saves at the second attempt. He made a right meal of that. He dived down to his right. It bobbled away. Looked as though he was just going to flick it onto the inside of the post and in, but he was able to gather, and it's still only 1-0.
Yeah, great play from Fulham. Lovely football. Robinson, one of those trademark surging runs down the left side, cut the ball back, it's fed back to Emil Smith Rowe, fires a decent shot, and Anna has to leap to his right, and as you say, Jim, it's not the most convincing initial stop, but he does well to gather it second attempt.
He's got the ball at his feet now, and he's taken the touch, fires it right-footed out towards the Manchester United left. Play continues with Pereira. Now Lukic. Pereira making a good run off the ball. Maguire saw him coming, and he just steps up from the defensive line, feeds Lindelof. Long ball over the top from Bruno, and that's headed away easily by Anderson. Fulham win it back. Pereira turn forward. Iwobi giving chase. Trying to close the ground on Anana, but the ball went back onto his right foot, which is his favoured side, so he was able to get it away easily. Anderson similarly easily beats Zirkzee in an aerial challenge, and Fulham are going to be able to bring it forward again with Robinson. Robinson checking, going back towards Anderson, and now to come down to Sander Berge. Just slows down the walking pace for a moment here.
Well, again, Fulham are rolling it around at the back and United are letting them do it. I mean, you're one down, you're at Old Trafford. Can somebody get after somebody and start putting a player under a bit of pressure? Fulham are able to just roll it about here and gradually move up the field. No threat, no press, nothing from United. They're just sitting in a very neutral position and allowing Fulham to do what they want.
Smith Rowe. He goes back towards Calvin Bassey, and again, it's so easy for the Fulham goal scorer just to make his way back to the edge of his own penalty area. Anderson working it forward for Robinson. Smith Rowe with a little step over. Didn't quite break Muniz's way. United win it back and feed Mazraoui, and he ran out of room right in front of Marco Silva. And he goes out of play for a throw, and the game will stop for a moment. Mazraoui, who is observing the Ramadan fast, it just comes over to this near touchline. Night has fallen now. Just 2 or 3 minutes ago, and as a result of that, he's able to break his fast. Remember what's coming up then. Tomorrow, Forest Ipswich, 7:30 in the FA Cup. Sam Matterface talking through the action. Adrian in the chair for that. Then Tuesday night, Andy alongside Alex Crook. Live on TalkSport 2 for Villa's game away to Club Bruges. PSV Arsenal at 8 o'clock kickoff here on TalkSport. We've also got live championship action for you as promotion chasing Burnley go to Cardiff. It's live on TalkSport 2, 8 o'clock Tuesday night. Wednesday, another Champions League double bill. Liverpool away to PSG, who scored 40 in their last 10 games, all of which they've won. It's a difficult match for the Reds at the Parc des Princes. It's an 8 o'clock kickoff live on TalkSport. And at the same time on TalkSport 2, Bayern Munich against Bayer Leverkusen, which is a fascinating encounter. Thursday, Manchester United in action away to Real Sociedad. That's here on TalkSport, 5:45. And at the same time, Spurs in the northern Netherlands in Alkmaar to take on AZ. And that is on TalkSport 2. So live football we've got coming up for you over the next 3 or 4 days. So much of it. 67 minutes gone here. 1-0 Fulham lead. And already they are halfway from the start of the second half to getting the job done.
Yep, and again, really seeing limited attacks from Manchester United. And I know Ruben Amorim he doesn't have the sort of options he would genuinely like to have on the bench, but I know Chido Obi is a young player that is really admired. We're about to see him, Jim.
Well, it's 3 months past his 17th birthday. He's going to come on to replace Rasmus Højlund. He's a much taller man than the Dane that he's replaced. Chido Obi, Danish himself. He's an under-18 international. He was prolific for Arsenal's under-18s in the Premier League, under-18 Premier League last season. He scored 7 goals in a 9-0 win against Norwich. And he's got 5 in 6 games for Manchester United's under-18s in the under-18 Premier League this season. Very tall, gangly striker. Possibly undamaged in the same way that some of the other United players are by what's preceded this game this season. This is the 42nd game of such a tough campaign. Casemiro's on for Eriksson. Fulham inside the penalty area. Pereira, the angle was tight and he's cleaned up by De Ligt. Really good challenge at the Stratford end glove. Had to win that one cleanly. Lindelof had held him up. Pereira had gone to his left-hand side. The angle became tight. De Ligt came in and did the rest, but it will be a corner.
It's a great break that actually from Fulham. Lovely leap from Rodrigo Muniz. Climbs above Harry Maguire. Puts his head on it. Puts Andreas Pereira one-on-one with Lindelof. As you say, Jimmy, slows him up enough to allow Matthijs de Ligt to get back and sweep that ball away for a Fulham corner. Really important challenge.
The second Fulham goal. And that might be it. Remember, they did lead 1-0 in the FA Cup here a couple of years ago, ended up losing 3-1. De Ligt has hurt himself making that challenge. He's hurt his left shoulder. I don't know whether he's just torn or strained some ligaments in doing that. He's got a corner to defend here. In swinger from Pereira. Out comes Onana, who's 7-8 yards out by the time he punched it clear. Anderson vacates the penalty area and picks up the loose ball and goes all the way back for Robinson, and Robinson will then turn it square to his left-hand side for Lukic. Lukic to Smith Rowe. And Smith Rowe under pressure from Bruno Fernandes. Works it all the way back to his goalkeeper. It's a long, right-footed, driven ball into the heart of the Manchester United half. De Ligt winning it. Casemiro then nods it down. And Dalot can turn it forward, finding Zirkzee. Zirkzee to Garnacho. United still yet to really get him involved as much as they would want. Nice reverse ball from him here. Finding Dalot. Dalot inside the penalty area. Robinson headed it away as Fernandes was waiting and trying to watch it onto his right foot for a volley. Lindelof heads it back forward. Down the line from Garnacho. Dalot's got four to pick out. He's found Fernandes. He can find the corner. And the cup holders are back in it with 20 minutes to go. It's Bruno Fernandes. How often he comes up with a big moment when Manchester United need it. And boy did they need it there. Bruno spearing one into the right-hand corner, and it's United 1, Fulham 1.
Brilliant
with 20 minutes to go.
Tremendous strike that is, and he's in the box. That's why Bruno Fernandes has got himself a goal, because he always looks like he'll score when he's up there and he's in and around the 18-yard box. 30 yards away from it for 65 minutes, but the last little passage of play, it's almost like he said, I'm just going to get myself ahead of the ball, certainly level with the ball. The ball goes down the left to Dalot. He picks up a position in the box. I tell you, it's a brilliant strike on his left foot. Gives Bert Leno no chance. Tucks it beautifully in the corner. But why has he been where he has operated for so long in this game when he's always their main threat? He is their only threat in the box. That's where he's got to operate.
It's his 90th Manchester United goal. Netted the equaliser when the two sides met here in the FA Cup 2 years ago, and has repeated the trick here. Went on to score another one that day. It's 1-1 with 72 gone here on TalkSport.
Since Casemiro has come on, I honestly think he's just decided he's going to leave Casemiro to do all the mopping up in front of the centre halves, and he's just going to get himself forward when he can. And that was a classic example of Bruno Fernandes arriving in the box right on cue and having the quality to finish.
Casemiro trying to win the ball back in the midfield. Fulham have only had the one attempt in this second half. Smith Rowe, here's Berger. Now that they're not protecting the lead anymore, they might be a little bit more proactive. Pereira's ball inside the box is volleyed away. Casemiro's clearance straight out of play for a throw that will be taken by Fulham on their left with Robinson. Thrown back to Pereira. Pereira looking to clip it inside the penalty area again. Smith Rowe out to the Fulham right. Alex Iwobi's got it. Iwobi just laying the ball back. Anderson. Iwobi. Good first time run inside the penalty area. Castagna getting it in. It's Robinson. Ooh. And it's over. It came on his right foot. He'd much rather it had come on his left. And he steered it about a yard over the bar.
Yeah, nice run from Castagna. He's the one who ends up sweeping the ball across the box between the 6-yard line and the penalty spot. Eventually it's half clear to Robinson, edge of the box, right foot. And as you say, Jim, he walks onto that, hits that first time, and it's always rising and going over the bar.
And Tony Macedo lives on. 1-1 between Manchester United and Fulham, and it's still more than 60 years since they kept a clean sheet here at Old Trafford. Free kick given United's way in the heart of the midfield, and Stuart Atwell, the referee, is quite concerned. He's waved the Manchester United medical staff on here so that some treatment can be administered. It's Zirkzee that's gone down. He's holding his shoulder. I think Sander Berger was possibly the Fulham player was involved. Just looking at the replay here, and he just leant into him to try and get the ball. Didn't appear to be too much in it, but it will be a United free kick.
Yeah, as Joshua Zirkzee receives a bit of treatment, both benches eager to get some words and some messages on to the players for what's left of the game, and for the coaches now. Already they'll be starting to think about the possibility, of course, of extra time, and who knows, even beyond that. So they've got to be a little bit careful, particularly Amorim, with the amount of changes that he makes. Chido Obi so far hasn't seen the ball, haven't been able to get him into the game yet. I'm really hoping that when he does receive it, he can do something and take someone on and maybe just get a shot away, because it will bring Old Trafford, everyone off their seats. It really will.
You're listening to Manchester United against Fulham in the FA Cup game day exclusive on TalkSport with Carling, the official beer partner of the Emirates FA Cup. 18 plus, please drink responsibly. Zirkzee is being led away. Fulham will restart with a free kick. Is it the time and the situation to blood Manchester United youngsters to just pretty much write off this season?
Yeah, I mean, look, you've got to put them in. You've got to give them a game. You have to have faith. This club has always had faith in young talent, and never before, I can't remember a time when they've needed perhaps a couple of these young boys to really come in and maybe just start to show really what they can do.
The play resumes with United. It was given as a drop ball in the end. United working it back for Onana. And Maguire lashes it forward. Robinson heads that away. Chested down by Berger. Takes it out towards the left-hand touchline. And turns away from Bruno Fernandes. Works it through the midfield. Fernandes looks up to the heavens, furious that the ball got past him. Found Lukic. Zirkzee asking for permission to come back on. Not given yet. High ball in towards Rodrigo Muniz. Trying to bring it down. Pokes it towards goal. Might have been a delict challenge that steered it away. The referee has given a corner.
Yeah.
There's good defending again.
Tell you what, it's a great ball to Rodrigo Muniz, who's picked up a really good position between Maguire and De Ligt. His first touch was lovely. And in the end, United just managed to toe in that one out for a Fulham corner. But it's a brilliant spot from Alex Iwobi, a 45-yard pass right into the heart of that United box, and just for a split second it looked like Rodrigo Muniz might make something of it. In the end, it's actually Harry Maguire that toes it away for the corner.
The corner which will be taken on the Fulham left. It's 1-1. Swept inside the 6-yard box, headed back in, but only onto the roof of the net. From Sander Berger. That out of play for a goal kick. The Fulham unused substitutes: Reed, Jimenez, Kearney, Cuenca, Willian, Sessegnon, Diop, and the substitute goalkeeper is Stephen Bender. Defender Aidan Heaven, the only outfield substitute that United haven't called upon so far. Onana taking his time about the restart, and that was the cause of this set. And then United playing out from the back, give it away. It was a poor ball intended for Fernandes, only finding Smith Rowe. Comes down towards Robinson. 12 minutes of normal time to go. 1-1 the score between Manchester United and Fulham here on TalkSport. Anderson down towards Robinson. Clipped forward by him. Headed away by Maguire and then Fernandes. Berger can pick up the loose ball that time. Lukic working it first time. Alex Iwobi, right-footed ball in. Smith Rowe is attacking in the far post, didn't quite get to him. United smuggle it away again. Another high up and under from Bruno Fernandes that wouldn't have looked out of place at Las Vegas last night in the Super League game. Headed away then by Bassi and brought down by Bruno Fernandes. Hooked on again. He's done really well to steer that through the midfield. Garnacho getting away from his man, but having beaten Anderson, he couldn't beat Bernd Leno. He's just passed it back to him, really. And Leno bowls it out quickly as the game begins to get stretched.
Yes.
Smith Rowe down towards Robinson on the Fulham left. We've got 11 minutes to go at 1-1 here on TalkSport.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Jim. It is starting to open up. There is room now to have a touch, pick your head up and find a teammate perhaps in an advanced position.
And Lukic has done that this time. It's back from him to Pereira, and a right-footed curving effort as he cut across. The ball goes whistling past the top left-hand corner, not close to Onana's goal, and out for a goal kick.
Yeah, that was half a chance actually. Andreas Pereira should have hit the target. The ball is with Onana. It's a goal kick, but you can hear the United fans there anxious. They want to see that just a bit more urgency from their team.
Well, they want them to go through quite clearly. They don't need this to go to extra time, bearing in mind that they're back in action on Thursday night away in Spain against Real Sociedad. They want to try and get it done in 90 minutes if they can. Casemiro laying it back for Maguire. Fulham, for their part, do have a week off before they go to Brighton next. Zirkzee, cleared away from him by Iwobi, brought down by Victor Lindelof. Back from him to Harry Maguire. Maguire controlling the ball, playing it to Victor Lindelof again. Casemiro just trying to side foot the ball forward, straight at Lukic from close range. United winning back and get another go. Maguire. Still no real urgency from Manchester United. That is a good pass from Maguire, though. Goes out towards Garnacho. Garnacho trying to take on Castagna. Castagna eventually tracked him. Poked the ball away and out for another Manchester United corner with 9 minutes to go at 1-1.
Yeah, good play, Garnacho. Whenever you knock the ball out to him in a wide area, we and everyone in this stadium, you just get the sense something might happen. When you give it to a wide player, a genuine wide player who wants to take people on, and that's what Garnacho has done. Every time he's got it, since he's come on, he's got his head down and drove at an opponent.
This is United's first corner of the second half. Casemiro, Obi, Zirkzee, De Ligt, all waiting for the delivery, but it's Anderson that gets there. His header is much more up than out. The second time of asking Fulham can get out of the penalty area. Inevitably it comes straight back in again, and now they'll be able to control it. Smith Rowe with another steepling up and under out towards the far touchline for Iwobi. Play's forced to stop because Anderson is down injured inside his own penalty area, and he's in need of treatment. The ball in a safe part of the pitch, and Stuart Atwell stops play. 8 to go here, Andy. There's going to be a fair bit of stoppage time.
Yep, there will be. I think both coaches are contemplating their next move, but of course very wary of the imposing threat of extra. Is it extra time, Jim? Yeah, we've got extra time
and then penalties if necessary.
Yeah. So again, they probably normally would play their last card, maybe, or a change or two, whatever else they can do. They're just a little reluctant at the moment.
Anderson's okay, he's back on his feet. And play continues. Obi putting him under pressure, and Anderson was forced to turn it back, and as he did so, he then turned and berated the midfielders in front of him for the lack of passing options he was given. Robinson turns it forward, straight to Maguire, and then De Ligt slices it out of play. Nice touch by Stuart Gray on the Fulham bench, and he's passed it straight to Robinson, who can take a throw. 7.5 minutes to go. Probably 12 or 13 minutes worth of playing time to go, I would guess.
Yeah, plenty of time for somebody to create a chance, perhaps in the wide area for Garnacho to maybe produce another good run, and can he deliver a ball this time? Alex Iwobi now with the ball at his feet on the far side has hit one or two nice sweeping passes from right to left.
It's just worked that one back for Smith Rowe. It's a lovely little nutmeg of Zirkzee. Pereira, good little nutmeg of De Ligt, and Smith Rowe's got it left hand side of the penalty area. And then just as he was preparing to deliver, I think he kicked the ball into his trailing foot, and it ricocheted straight out of play for a goal kick.
Tackled himself there, Emil Smith Rowe.
And again, murmurs of discontent from the United fans. Onana with the ball in his hands inside the 6-yard box. Goal kick is taken by Lindelof, back for Onana, and that was the cue for Munoz to come out and really press. And then as Mazraoui turns it forward, it's hit Smith Rowe and loops up in the air. All Fernandes can do is hook that over his shoulder, and United, taking a goal kick, have barely got the ball 10 yards outside the penalty area.
Correct. That's why the United fans getting frustrated, and I don't blame them. Why doesn't Onana knock the ball up the middle and let the kid get after it and challenge for it? Him and Zirkzee just make something of it. One thing's for sure, if those two are jumping for the ball, then Anderson and Bassi aren't going to be able to head it miles. And all of a sudden United find themselves up the park, and they're playing out from the back. They're not playing well enough and don't look confident enough to really do it at times, and I think they shouldn't do it every time. Mix it up. The best teams mix it up. Liverpool, they go long when they have to, and they're really dangerous when they do.
Bassi between the lines, Robinson, Smith Rowe, and back again, and De Ligt has to deal with that by sliding it out of play. Just the right side of the corner flag as far as United are concerned. It's a throw, but almost in the corner quadrant. for Fulham's Anthony Robinson. 85 played here on TalkSport. Manchester United 1, Fulham 1. Bassi in first half stoppage time. Fernandez 20 minutes from time, tying it up at 1 apiece. 13 or 14 minutes since then, we haven't really seen too many decent goal-scoring chances. Obi, who's come on for Manchester United, is struggling to get any kind of service at all. Ball's hit his shoulder, goes out of play for another Fulham throw, which Robinson will take. Pereira making a run for him down the left-hand touchline. Smith Rowe dropping deep, trying to draw Casemiro out with him and create a little bit of space for Lukic in behind the pair of them. Ball's thrown back towards Bassi. Castagna getting it forward. Iwobi shown inside by Diogo Dalot. Not the best ball back under pressure from Iwobi, but Anderson rescued it. Good header from De Ligt, getting it away from Smith Rowe. Anderson pokes it forward. Iwobi comes second in a 50-50 against Dalot. The loose ball squirting out towards the far touchline for Garnacho. Dalot will chase after that, and it is a throw to Manchester United. One of those where both players appealed that it was theirs, and probably both players genuinely thought it was, but it's a throw to United.
It is indeed. It was Lukic and Diogo Dalot there challenging for that ball, 50-50 between the two. Lukic absolutely convinced it was a Fulham throw, referee pointing in the other direction.
Well, United fans, I'd love to hear your views on this. However it is going to transpire, you can do it by speaking to Madge and Parts, who are with you. 03717223344, your chance to have your say on national radio, on TalkSport. The conclusion of this game, don't forget the draw follows us. We'll have reaction as well from the tunnel here at Old Trafford as Robinson plays the ball forward towards Emil Smith Rowe.
It's good play.
As Lukic have got it wide out towards the Fulham right hand side. Iwobi clipped in towards Smith Rowe again. Smith Rowe down to the left hand side of the penalty area. Robinson with a little Rabona cross, which Maguire was able to head away, and then Bruno Fernandes gets it further clear. Not short of confidence, that young man.
No, well, I don't know if he needed to do that, to be brutally honest, but Fulham look playing the better football, the nicer football, the more controlled football. They're able to play from the back through midfield, get it into the wide areas without yet producing a ball in the last 10 minutes in the final third. That's what they've got to try and do. But their football between the 18-yard boxes is good.
Fulham fans, also your views more than welcome, of course, on 03717223344. You can book your calls now. Pereira playing the ball down towards Robinson. Robinson back towards Pereira again. It's actually Bassi that takes over. It wasn't a great pass, but Fulham worked it effectively. And then Iwobi with a brilliant little step over and then pirouette on the ball, the full 360. Maintains possession, and Fulham can change the line of attack out towards the right hand side. Anderson switches it back quickly for Bassi. 90 seconds of the 90 minutes to go, but probably 6 or 7 minutes to be added on, you would think. Casemiro, good little reverse ball for Zirkzee. Zirkzee quickly out towards Garnacho, didn't come close to finding him. Better ball at the second time of asking, but still Castagna can hook it away. Dalot takes over, got there ahead of Pereira. Zirkzee beating Lukic to it, he's wrestled into the ground, and it's a free kick to Manchester United, 10 yards outside the penalty area, level with the left-hand edge of the box. Good chance.
Yeah, just a bit of pressure there from United. They kept it alive down the left side. Eventually the ball comes to Zirkzee. Sasha Lukic too intent to try and wrestle him, concedes the free kick. Now can Bruno Fernandes produce a delivery to give Maguire, to give De Ligt, to give Chido Obi, to give somebody a chance to get something on target?
A minute to go. And Chido Obi is waiting, wearing number 56. Is the script written for a player prolific at youth level? Fernandes taking this, headed on, but straight into the hands of Leno from Maguire. And then Leno rushing to the edge of his penalty area, bowls it out quickly for Robinson. The link did well because he stopped Robinson's early ball for being effective. Robinson then tries to help it further on. Pereira hooks it over his shoulder. Muniz will chase after it. Bruno Fernandes is back there, but Rodrigo Muniz has beaten him. Then he turns it straight through to Casemiro, and play has to stop because there's a Fulham player down, injured again. It's Pereira as we go into 8 added minutes.
Yeah. Not sure exactly how seriously hurt Andreas Pereira is. Clutching the side of his face. He actually hooked the ball down the line and then I think collided with the United player. As you see, quite rightly say, Jim, 8 minutes added. 8 is plenty. 8 is plenty of time for either team actually to create something here. But United just have those moments where they pick it up, particularly when they go down their left side with Dalot and Garnacho. I do feel if anything's going to happen, it's from that left side with Garnacho, him standing across up or cutting something back.
Well, Manchester United haven't lost a 5th round tie here at Old Trafford since Arsenal beat them back in 2003. And this one, at the moment, destined to go to extra time. The 8 added minutes will only start when play resumes. So we're already going to tick into a 100th minute before the game ends. It might yet go deeper than that. Fulham are going to make changes. Willian and Raul Jimenez are the players that are going to be coming on. Andy Townsend.
Yeah, not bad changes at all, are they, those two guys? Willian, all that experience, still sharp enough to, if he can find a yard of space, and Raul Jimenez will always give himself every chance he's got to get on the end of something if it arrives in the box.
Well, Raul has only scored 1 goal against United in his career. It was in an FA Cup tie as a Wolves player in a quarter-final back in 2019. He's also scored an FA Cup semi-final goal in the past. He's going to replace Muniz. Pereira's coming off, and Willian will replace him. Willian, whose only goal at Old Trafford came back in 2018. That same year, he won the FA Cup against United. He came off the bench in the final. So he will come on. He'll play on the left. Smith Rowe will move back into 10 to take Pereira's role.
Yep.
And he'll play now behind Raul Jimenez. Play now restarts. So the 8 minutes start from here. So we're going to get to 10.5 minutes of added time by the end of the game, at least. 1-1 the score. Here on TalkSport, it's Bassi has the ball. He's put under pressure by Obi. They lay it back towards Robinson. Robinson for Sander Berge. Jimenez wanted the ball to be played into feet. It's worked wide instead out towards the right-hand side. Jimenez makes his way in the penalty area. Iwobi can't find him. His cross hits Dalot and goes out of play for a throw.
Sander Berge swept the ball around quite nicely second half for Fulham. He did so there out to Alex Iwobi. The ball wasn't good enough.
Berger's got it again, but then loses it on the edge of the penalty area to Casemiro. Casemiro can venture forward, not at any real great pace. Garnacho tried to inject a little bit of tempo, but he lost possession. Fulham can come again with Smith Rowe. Jimenez making a run to his right-hand side, creating a little bit of space for the former Arsenal man. Then he turned and ran straight down a blind alley, and United will clear again. Casemiro with a long ball over the top. Zirkzee chasing after it. Obi actually some way away from that. Well, Fulham dealt with it anyway. Robinson to Berge. Down towards Robinson again. And he can venture slowly forward into Manchester United territory. It's 1-1 with probably about 6.5 minutes of added time to go. Another chance for Sander Berge. Over on the right-hand side, Alex Iwobi turning it neatly down the line for the industrious Lukic. Good reverse ball from him. Back for Iwobi. Setting up Smith Rowe. Good save. Really smart stop from Onana. That was going into the bottom left-hand corner. And he dived down and got a strong right hand to it and tip it around the post.
Excellent football that from Fulham. Really good play down there right. Alex Iwobi filters it across to Emil Smith Rowe. Right in the middle of the goal, about 2 yards outside the 18-yard box, hits it first time right foot, and that is a really good stop from Andre Onana. He has to leap really strong to his right to get that.
Fulham's 7th corner, first to be taken by Willian. And it's easily headed away at the near post by Xerxes. The throw taken by Fulham from at least 10 yards too far forward. Xerxes then headed the ball out of play. Willian just picked up a ball off the cone. 10 is probably a conservative estimate. It might have been 15 yards too far forward.
Yeah, because they have the multi-ball system now, so they have extra balls ready to come on. Ball boys, extra responsibility to get them on there as quick as they can, and Willian just taking advantage of that there. It's picking the first one up he saw, and it was 15 yards in front.
It's Fulham who are doing the pressing in stoppage time. That's a poor challenge though on Xerxes, and it's going to be a yellow card, and Anderson is cautioned. He was out of position and he couldn't let Xerxes play the next pass. Late lunging challenge, Anderson in the book.
Yep, knew exactly what he was doing there. You're quite right, got dragged under the ball a bit there. Anderson out of position. Here's a chance, everybody going forward for this kick now. Tanana from about 15 yards short of the halfway line. He's going to punt it forward and everyone's waiting for it.
Fulham keeping a high line. He's actually just tapped it for Bruno Fernandes. He does punt it forward. Headed away on the edge of his own penalty area by Raul Jimenez. The Mexican then clearing a little bit further, but only as far as Dallo. Dallo's ball in, almost found Xerxes. Really good covering header came from Calvin Bassey. Smith Rowe back inside his penalty area, but chipped away to safety by Timothy Castagna. Now Robinson looking for Willian, only finding Bruno. Bruno running round the ball, linking up with Mazraoui. And Bruno will take it out towards the right-hand touchline again. He's so deep though. Been a recurring theme now. Another long ball launched forward. Xerxes makes it a fight ball. Chido Obi, as Bassey has a nibble. Obi drags it across the face of goal and wide. Garnacho actually can keep it in down by the corner flag. United will come again in the 6th minute of stoppage time. Too much on the cross. Not seeing much of Chido Obi at all, but just then great strength and persistence. Had he gone down,
yes,
it would have been a decision to make, and I think Bassey is really relieved.
I think so too, because he kind of rolled Calvin Bassey, the young man there, and then all of a sudden Bassey knew he's in a vulnerable position, and he just has an attempt to get the ball back, and I think there, if Chido Obi just drops to the floor, I think he gets a pen. I really do. He's so honest there. Look, he's tried to stay on his feet, get back up and get a shot away. Mustn't knock him for that, because that's what you want to see from a young player, just someone who's desperate to try and go and get a goal, a winning goal. But I think had he have gone to the floor, he might have got that.
That first real sparkle that we've seen from Chido Obi. Fulham will bring it forward though. Smith Rowe at 3 minutes left. Robinson clipping it in. Iwobi covering a lot of ground to try and attack it. He couldn't get there in time. Berger. Another high ball looped inside the penalty area. Jimenez waiting for it. It didn't get to him. Willian cleared by Fernandes. And he's, arguably had a shot from 75 yards there. He's just launched it forward.
He was trying to sweep it out to Garnacho and he just got it wrong.
Fulham get it forward with Leno to Bassey. Bassey back for Sander Berger. Sergej trying to cut off his route back to goal. Berger more than happy to turn. Plays it forward towards Bassey. Bassey to Willian. Willian again. The 8 minutes are up, but because of the treatment that Pereira received at the start of stoppage time, then it's going to be elongated by another couple of minutes, this extra period, and then extra time awaits. Ball played out towards the right-hand side. The whistles are because the clock has ticked past 98 minutes, but still 90 seconds to go. Iwobi out towards the right, fired inside the penalty area. Mazraoui stoops, heads the ball away. Obi helps it on, but not too far. Bassey's got it back. So all Fulham at the moment. Robinson in the 100th minute of the game. High ball forward from him. Headed away on the edge of the penalty area. Back from Castagna. Lukic taking it on. He's trying to drag it away from Diogo Dalot, and Dalot's done well. Casemiro can get it forward through the midfield. Obi with a little touch. Back for Zirkzee. Zirkzee looked up, didn't have too much to try and hit. He's got Garnacho making his way through the middle. Toe poke towards goal. Leno saved it, and then it's mopped up from in front of him by the retreating Castagna.
Tell you what, it's a great ball from Zirkzee to Garnacho. Brilliant spot.
De Ligt, Mazraoui, about to tick into the 11th minute of added time. United desperate to get everybody forward. Lindelof, Casemiro, chipped over the top. Bruno Fernandes lets it run. It's headed down, and coming to meet it was Shido Obi.
Wow.
He poked it past the goalkeeper, but wide. Really difficult chance. Did well to get there at all.
Oh, he did. I thought that was going to be his moment, because De Ligt chested it down. He's burst from the edge of the box to the 6-yard line. Goalkeeper's never going to get it, and he just gets on the end of that pass from De Ligt, but just toe pokes it wide of the post.
100 minutes of football haven't separated them, and we will be going to extra time. Manchester United 1, Fulham 1, and still the major moment of drama lies ahead of us. So Aidan Heaven on for his Manchester United debut. He signed from Arsenal at the beginning of last month, and he comes on. What a time for his Manchester United debut. First period of extra time, 1-1 between United and Fulham. Robertson laying the ball back for Sander Berge. Fulham white shirts, black shorts, kicking from right to left as they did at the second half of normal time.
Football was better, Jim, was it? Last 20 minutes, much better from both teams. I think they took a little bit more care, and there was some nice play, some nice link-up work.
Nice touch by Willian. Raul Jimenez, Robinson, back for Jimenez again. Left-hand side of the penalty area, trying to find his way through, and Lindelof, who's come out to the right-hand side of the three centre-halves now that Heaven has come on. He will play on the left, and De Ligt is in the middle. Although, in fact, he and Lindelof have just swapped over again. So Lindelof in the middle, Heaven, the tallest of the three, playing on the left. Fulham in possession again with Berge, chipped by him, down for Robinson. Robinson into the feet of Emile Smith-Rowe, poked away by Casemiro. United have no more cards left to play. They could bring a substitute goalkeeper on. You get a 6th sub now that we've gone into extra time, and there are no outfield players left on the bench for Manchester United. Ball is cleared again in towards Chido Obi. One back by Fulham. Robinson's got it. I think United have had a touch of the ball in Fulham territory in extra time so far.
Not yet. It has been all Fulham. United just, and it happens now in extra time. Teams just drop into a shape and just sit there, really. They're not going to go squeezing or pressing. They're just going to wait to try and turn the ball over and then see if they can release their forward players.
Yeah, the official possession stat in extra time so far is 100% for Fulham. They've got it again. Over on the right-hand side. Ball thrashed across the edge of the penalty area, and it's whacked away by De Ligt. Back out towards the Fulham right-hand side. Now Manchester United can get a touch, because it was a poor attempt at controlling it from Iwobi. Swept over the top by Casemiro, and Garnacho trying to get it in left-hand side of the box. Side netting only. Forced wide enough by Castagna. And he's missed the target.
Great run, that. Great run from Garnacho, because Castagna is quick, and he sprints in behind the Fulham fullback. It's on his left foot. The first touch just took him away and made the angle all that more acute, and it was always going to be a difficult one. Hit it nicely, but intent was there as ever with Garnacho.
United win it back. Casemiro, Bruno Fernandes. 10 yards outside the box. Smith-Rowe trying to edge it clear. Only as far as De Ligt. De Ligt for Lindelof. Getting it back. Now a little reverse down the line for Mazraoui. Bruno goes out into space on the right-hand side. Ball worked the other way. Zirkzee's given it away, and it's easily won back by Alex Iwobi. To play it out towards Sasha Lukic. 3.5 minutes gone in the first period of extra time. 1-1 the scoreline. Bassi at the end of the first half, and then Bruno Fernandes 20 minutes from the end of normal time. Sander Berge again. 15 yards into Manchester United territory. Willian getting it back. Former FA Cup winner going back for Bassey again. Last time that Fulham won an FA Cup tie this late in the competition away from home at West Ham back in 2004. It would be a very famous win. Fulham can get revenge for that defeat here a couple of years ago. And we'll know in about 30-35 minutes time either way who will be in the quarter-final draw. 45 minutes time we'll know which of these two teams is through and who they've got.
Yeah. Just saw Joachim Andersen there, right foot, tried to fizz one out to Anthony Robinson. He usually does that very well. Just a few yards in front of the fullback, and he was just unable to get on the end of that.
Zirkzee. He's got it back, having initially given it away, then he's given it away again. Lukic. And Mazraoui stops him in his tracks. Anderson chasing another long ball forward. Got to put the brakes on pretty quickly here. It's quite a steep camber off the side of the pitch, which if you're running towards the touchline, once you run over the touchline, you've got to stop, and you've got to stop quick, otherwise you're going to take a real tumble. And Anderson only just got the brakes on in time there. The ball goes at the Fulham right-hand side for Iwobi. Anderson has it again. He's 6 or 7 yards inside his own half. Long ball over the top. Robinson trying to get in, and he just couldn't stretch out that left boot far enough. It beat De Ligt, but ended up beating Robinson as well.
Again, I spoke earlier about going long. Go long and direct every now and again. If you've got someone that's really prepared to sprint and try and get on the end of it, as Robinson always is, and Anderson has just knocked that about a yard too far in front of him. Had he been able to get a touch on that, he'd have been on his left foot in the box with just an honour to beat.
Marco Silva in discussion with Gonçalo Santos. They've still got a few options. Sessegnon, Diop, Cuenca, Reed and Kearney, the players that they can call upon. They've made 3 changes, so they've got 3 left. Anana clearing the ball, takes a touch, goes out of play from Manchester United. Thrown infield. Anderson heads it away. Back out towards Garnacho on the United left again. Zirkzee turned on once more towards the edge of the penalty area. Should be cleared by Bassey. Ran into De Ligt and gets a free kick. De Ligt hates that decision. Well, it's going to be a free kick to Fulham just outside their own penalty area. It remains 1-1 as we approach the midway stage of this first period of extra time. Yeah,
but better intent from De Ligt there, just trying to stimulate everybody around him. Go and press the ball. He immediately stepped in from a deep position to try and pinch that ball off Calvin Bassey, and unfortunately clatters into the Fulham man, concedes the free kick. But when you see a teammate going like that, charging after the opponent, it does make you feel like you want to get out there and do it too.
Bassey firing a long ball forward. Lindelof will be there first. Gets it safely back for his goalkeeper. Nala leans back to make sure that he gets plenty of distance and elevation on his clearance. De Ligt picks up the loose ball in the midfield. From him to Casemiro. Casemiro turning it forward. It ricocheted into the heel of Sander Berge. United then not the next ball forward, but Robinson mops that one up. And Lukic can emerge into the centre circle, and all of a sudden he's got a fair bit of time and space. Casemiro dropping off, allowing Lukic to make his way forward. He feeds Iwobi on the Fulham right. Back it comes for Sander Berge again. 1-1 with 98 on the clock. Anderson inside the centre circle. Back for Bassey. Willian showing, wanting the ball in defeat. Robinson always in a position to receive the ball on the Fulham left. Goes the other way, a switch out towards the right, and Aidan Heaven's in there a little bit too strongly. He's given a free kick away, which will be taken on the Fulham right-hand side, but only after they've made another change, and it's Harrison Reed who's going to be coming on. And the fourth official, Darren Bond, again with the numbers board in his hand, actually play restarting. It'll happen at the next break, but Reed will be on in a moment. Here's Obi, losing out to Berge. Further in the centre circle. Fall from him to Willian. Willian away from the sliding challenger Casemiro. Out towards Iwobi. Iwobi, bottom right-hand corner of the penalty area here for Fulham. Willian in support for him again. Chipped over the top for the run of Castagna. Elevated cross from him. They're headed away by the blonde-haired De Ligt. Only as far as Berge. steps away from Casemiro's challenge. Can't quite get himself into a shooting position. He plays it to Robinson. The Milton Keynes-born American international tries to drive it inside the penalty area. Second ball in is a better one. That's headed away as well. Comes out towards Bassi. Does well to protect the ball. Feeds Berger. Over the top. Headed down. Smith Rowe is in there. Lindelof misses his kick. It's a great bad one. There's no way that could be deemed a deliberate back pass. And all he did was get studs on it, and Anala came out and picked it up.
Certainly did, yeah. Sigh of relief there all round. United now back on the front foot with Garnacho down their left.
Taking on Castagna, working inside for Zirkzee. Bassi clears. Willian, well, one back by De Ligt. And then Fernandes plays it forward, and Obi didn't read it, just a little bit slow in making his way forward. Cannon off him, really.
Yeah.
And goes all the way through to Leno.
Great challenge from De Ligt, again on the front foot, pinches it off Willian. It drops for Bruno Fernandes, who kind of shapes to shoot, but very cleverly slots it through to Chido Obi, whose first touch is a little heavy, and it skips through to the goalkeeper. Right idea.
So Fulham will make their change. Straight swap in the heart of midfield with Reed coming on for Lukic. But a problem for De Ligt, who is down with cramp at the moment, and he's going to have to play through the pain barrier for the remaining 20 minutes because they haven't got any more outfield players they can bring on.
No. He's trying to press Matthias De Ligt. I admire him for that. It's not easy when you're standing there as one of the three centre halves and you're watching people in front of you and you want to go and force things yourself, and he's done that. He stepped in 2 or 3 times in this period of extra time really well to win the ball back for United, high up the field.
So Harrison Reed comes on, the flame-haired midfielder who's had very few opportunities in the starting lineup for Fulham over the course of this season, but a very dependable man to be able to bring off the bench. So much experience and more than 300 games for Southampton and Fulham combined. The ball is out of play for a Manchester United throw. 4 minutes remaining in this first period of stoppage time, but again there's going to be stoppage time at the end of this first period of extra time. Mazraoui, Birded Morocco with the ball in his hands. Thought about throwing it down the line. A little bit more of an oblique angle, the ball in towards Zirkzee. Then Bruno Fernandes is caught by Willian, who offers a hand to help him back to his feet, and they have a discussion about the legitimacy of the challenge. Willian, who was sent off in this cup tie 2 years ago here. And Fernandes is okay, he's back on his feet. De Ligt's all right as well, having had everything stretched out, and he's made his way forward towards the edge of the penalty area for this latest Bruno Fernandes free kick. Fulham again defending it with a high line, 7 outside the box. Fernandes gesticulating out towards the far side, I think towards Garnacho. He didn't want him quite as deep as he is. He just pinged it in towards the penalty spot and headed away by Aidan Heaven, straight out of play for a goal kick.
Yeah, nothing really been coming of that one. Aidan Heaven just trying to battle with Anderson just to try and steal a yard on him. Is unable to direct that header. It goes out for a goal kick.
It's an FA Cup debut for Heaven. He only made one senior appearance for Arsenal, which was a League Cup tie at Preston. Here's Casemiro, back in from Zirkzee. Obi going down inside the penalty area. The appeals were from United fans, not from their contingent wearing red on the field. De Ligt, down for Mazraoui again. Zirkzee chasing after that, but betraying his exhaustion as he did so. Wasn't there particularly quickly, a little bit late on Bassi, and it's gone out of play for a throw which will be taken on the Fulham left-hand side. 2 minutes to go in this first period of extra time. Throw from Robinson in towards Berger, back for Robinson again, just fired forward towards halfway. Heaven picks it up inside the centre circle and goes all the way back to his goalkeeper Anana, some 45-50 yards behind him.
Yeah, and what often happens in these periods of extra time is that teams start to become a little negative. Just keeping the ball, dropping to the floor. Of course, when you perhaps could have stayed on your feet and done something with it.
Mazraoui. Oh, it's hit Bassi as he's looked to try and get on the end of a 1-2 with Obi. And Mazraoui goes down inside the penalty area, and he's pushed his opposite number 3 over, and it's a free kick to Fulham.
Yeah, Bassi does well actually there. He runs into Mazraoui, and just initiates that contact, then of course hits the floor. That's what I mentioned, that's the kind of thing that starts to happen in extra time. Again, if you don't want to go to penalties, you're going to need to find a forward pass to someone in a decent area and get it in that box and get some shirts in there after it.
If Fulham don't go through here, will they regard this as a huge missed opportunity?
Very much, I think so. I do, I really do, because United looked a bit brittle at the start of this game, and I think Fulham at the start of the second half didn't really apply enough pressure and thought to go and get that second goal. And United are a moments team. We've seen this play out a lot this season with them, is that whilst they can struggle and be poor and frustrate people in Old Trafford, they will produce a moment or two. And you've got Bruno and you've got Garnacho and you've got people like that. They can find something, and they've done that to get back in this one.
Yeah, Bruno with the goal on 71 that has kept them in the FA Cup as they look to get through to a third successive final. Something that Chelsea did not too long ago. They lost them all. United hoping to retain the FA Cup, which has only been done 4 or 5 times since the early 1960s. Garnacho, we're in a minute of added time. At the end of the first period of extra time. Harrison Reed can clear. Jimenez has come off his chest and ricocheted to the nearest man in red. It's Casemiro bringing it for Obi's going to chase after. He's going to get there first. And forces a good save from Leno at the near post. It's come off Leno, spoons over the bar. Obi then acts as the conductor of the Manchester United choir, just requesting a little bit more volume. And right at the end of the first period of extra time, Obi forces a good save. United force a corner. Fernandes will come across to take it. Obi waits by the penalty spot. Zirkzee coming back outside the penalty area. 3 or 4 forward, chested down towards the penalty spot. De Ligt trying to swivel and get a shot in on the turn. Garnacho picking up the loose ball. High up and under, first time ball back in from Bruno Fernandes. Picked up by Zirkzee. He's nearer the left-hand corner flag than the penalty area when he's got it. Dribbled his way through brilliantly. Has another crack at beating Castagna. Fired it in towards Garnacho, too strong. That's cleared. Anderson then stoops and clears Fernandes' ball in. And the half-time whistle blows in extra time. Still no separating them. It's 1 apiece. Worth, I think, going back through who's actually on the field at the moment as we start extra time part 2. It's Onana in goal for United. And then De Ligt, Lindelof and Heaven the back 3. Mazraoui and Dalot as the wing-backs. Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro in the midfield, and then it's a front 3 of Zirkzee and Garnacho in support of Chido Obi. For Fulham, Leno in goal, still the same back 4 that started the game. Castagna, Anderson, Bassi and Robinson, and then Reed alongside Lukic. And Harrison Reed playing the ball forward here. Raul Jimenez towards the edge of the penalty area. Back in for Reed, he squared it and he just couldn't quite poke it over the line. Emil Smith-Rowe's cut back. The offside flag was up anyway.
Good football, nice work that. Raul Jimenez just on the left-hand edge of the box. And he sees Emil Smith-Rowe making that real darting run beyond him, puts him in, but the flag just went up at the crucial moment there.
So in front of that Fulham back 4, it's Reed and Berger, and then Iwobi one side, Willian the other, and Smith-Rowe at 10 behind Raul Jimenez. Manchester United can make 1 more change, but they've only got keepers on the bench now. Fulham can make 2. They've still got Cuenca, Sessegnon, Diop. 2 more, sorry. Kearney, Cuenca, Sessegnon and Diop can come on. Here's Garnacho inside the penalty area, and he's gone for glory, and he's found Roque with a curving effort that sweeps over the top right-hand corner.
Yeah, look, not his finest strike, but don't mind that. You know, if you're out there, you just give him you clap your hands and say, unlucky son, come on, and again. Same again, because whenever he's picked it up, as I mentioned, he's trying to take people on. As soon as he gets this ball in the wide left position, he stands Castagna up, backs him into the box. The shot's a poor one, no doubt about that, but it's the right idea.
Well, at this stage, you are thinking about your penalty takers as well as the 13 minutes that are left. Iwobi's coming off here for Fulham, and Sessegnon comes on to replace him. He made his first Premier League start for more than 2 years on Tuesday and scored inside a minute. His last FA Cup goals were as a 16-year-old back in 2017. He scored in his first 2 ties in the competition, but hasn't scored since. He's on, and he's going to be playing as a winger as opposed to playing as a fullback. Willian down towards Castagna. He's on the right wing here in front of Castagna. Sessegnon is trying to turn it on to Harrison Reed. One back by Aidan Heaven. Nice touch from Casemiro. And he's brought Bruno Fernandes plenty of time and space, and he ventures forward towards the edge of the area. Playing in Garnacho. Garnacho cutting inside. Trying to lay it back towards Bruno Fernandes. Casemiro shaping up to shoot. Crowd thought Willian took him out. Play goes on. And Robinson comes forward down the Fulham left for a strong challenge. Blocks him. It was De Ligt who did well to win it back. Then Jimenez clatters into the back of Lindelof. Play goes on again. Another long ball forward. Over the top. Zirkzee trying to bring it down. Gets there, edge of the area. Setting up Obi. Obi tripping over the ball. He's back on his feet. Casemiro to his right. Bassi in strongly. And he'll be able to get it away. Everybody going down. Everybody appealing for everything. Stuart Atwell. Get on with it.
Yeah, absolutely right. Oh, I just saw again Chido Obi there on the edge of the box, back to goal. He's got the ball sort of kind of caught between his feet, and then looks like he wriggles out of it, and Casemiro ends up taking it off of him and can't really do anything with it.
The volume ratchets up another couple of notches here at Old Trafford. 11 minutes of extra time to go, and then penalties. Fulham claiming that they should have had a free kick. It's a Fulham throw to restart proceedings. It's worked by Smith Rowe, back in for Willian. Good run forward here from Sessegnon. His first touch forced him a little bit wider than he wanted to go. Sessegnon, his left foot, could save Onana. Dived towards this near post and was able to beat the effort away. That was really strong and smart from Sessegnon.
Terrific save that from Onana. Brilliant play from Ryan Sessegnon. Exactly what Marco Silva would have wanted from him.
Sessegnon's got it again. The Reed ahead of him. He's got Bruno Fernandes between him and goal as well. And the United captain gets it away. Casemiro's giving it away. He's poked it straight through the midfield. Berger seizing upon that. Sending it wide immediately for Robinson. Curveball in from him. Raul Jimenez attacking it. Aidan Heaven defended it really well. Cleared out towards Chido Obi, but he's way back inside his own half. United can turn it forward. Anderson comes forward to engage with Zirkzee about 10 yards in United territory, and has come off the United man and gone out of play for a throw that'll be taken over on the Fulham left-hand side. Still 1-1, 10 to go.
Yeah, there's a lot of United players shattered, absolutely out on their feet. They really are. Joshua Zirkzee is one of them. Mazraoui, another one. I'm looking around at the United boys, looking for 5 penalty takers. They're not obvious at the moment.
Reed for Sessegnon on his left foot. Willian locking it back for Harrison Reed again. Castagna down the line. And that's come off. Sessegnon gone out of play for a goal kick. And certainly from the United perspective, Bruno would go first, Dalot would go second, and then after that it's...
I think you'd go for your experienced ones. Casemiro, I think you'd want him to step up and take one. Again, I'm not seeing the obvious ones for United. I think Fulham have got more that you would expect to walk up there. But listen, penalty shootouts are never easy to predict. They don't always follow the script at all.
Casemiro has missed one in a shootout for Manchester United before. Dalot's got an exemplary record. Bruno Fernandes has scored each of his last 10 penalties in the games and in shootouts. Here's Mazraoui. Casemiro trying to stroke it into the bottom right-hand corner, but he got the radar wrong. He's put it about a yard wide of the right-hand post.
Unlucky. Nice pass from Casemiro initially to find Mazraoui. Then Mazraoui drops it back and returns that favour. And from about 22 yards out, Casemiro, middle of the goal, tries to bend that one in the corner, and it's always wide.
Lindelof just caught underneath the ball there by Jimenez. Just pushed him under the flight of it. It's a free kick to Manchester United. Victor Lindelof will take it. You would also imagine Chido-Obi would be pretty decent from the spot, you would think.
Yeah, he would, I'm sure. And if he does take one, good luck to him. He does step up. Again, you know, it's never easy for anybody in penalty shootouts, Jim, full stop. But the way we're going at the moment, they're starting to feel that inevitability that's where we're heading.
8 minutes before we get there. Garnacho controlling the ball on the left flank for Manchester United. Trying to get towards the byline. His ball in towards the near post. Obi trying to make something happen. Smith Rowe is going to be able to bring it away after it ricocheted off a Fulham player on the edge of the box. Willian's got it now. Still looking really sprightly, Willian. And with the ball down towards Sessegnon. Sessegnon on the corner of the penalty area. Castagna on the overlap. Good ball in. Well dealt with by Heaven. Puts it out of play for a corner to Fulham.
Yeah, nice football again, this time from Fulham out to Willian on the left, and he filters across the field to Ryan Sessegnon, who waits for Castagna on the overlap, drops him in, and Castagna fires that one along the 6-yard line. And Aidan Heaven absolutely in the right position. Make sure you're in that gully before any white shirts arrive, and he was, but he steered it away for a Fulham corner.
Which is their first of extra time. And a great ovation for Willian as he makes his way down towards the corner flag in front of the travelling Fulham support. Spots it down now in the quadrant. Sessegnon making his way forward to the dead ball line. Swept over his head by Willian. It might break anywhere. Obi's going to be able to bring it away though for United under pressure from Bassi. And it is going to be a free kick which will be taken by United.
Good play that from Chido-Obi. Protected that ball in the box from Calvin Bassi, and in the end just drew the foul, which relieves all the pressure. And when you look at the Fulham team, Sander Berge strikes a good ball. You think Raul Jimenez, Joachim Anderson, again, strikes a very good ball. Ryan Sessegnon's fresh, and he's only just come on. They've got people that you would think are more than capable of stepping up and producing.
Well, they did have a shootout earlier this season against Preston in the third round of the League Cup, where each side took 17 penalties.
Wow.
And Fulham missed 2 of the 17, and that saw them eliminated.
Who missed them?
Castagna missed his second one. Glad you asked that. Castagna missed his second one, and Cuenca's first one was saved. Right. Cuenca's only one was saved. They haven't brought Cuenca off the bench yet for the shootout. Here's Smith Rowe coming forward again for Fulham. Willian, left-hand side of the penalty area. Right-footed ball hooked in. Didn't have the legs to find Sessegnon. Cleared though by Dallo. Out towards Robinson. Willian. He's lost at the Zirkzee. He's getting his second wind here. Obi making a run ahead of him. And Fulham win it back with Robinson. He's lost out to Casemiro. Zirkzee gets it again. Fulham getting bodies back goal side. And that was a touch on the cynical side. Zirkzee upended. And it's going to be a yellow card for Robinson.
He's out on his feet, Zirkzee, but he's battling away. He is. He's had a tough day really in many respects. In that first period, him and Højlund were miles off it. But he's kept going. Just kept battling and grafting. And the United fans have responded to that from him as the game's gone on really. Draws that foul from Anthony Robinson there, gets him carded and gives United a chance to put something in the box from a long way back, but Bruno Fernandes is on it.
Bruno taking it, quite a flat delivery, looking for a near post flick on. Fernandes almost able to provide it, didn't break Obi's way. Hooked away by a Fulham player inside the box. 4 minutes to go. Another long ball fall from Fernandes. It's headed into Lindelof. Almost came to De Ligt. Berger then can hack it through the midfield where Smith Rowe controls it, plays it back for Robinson, and Fulham will bring it forward. Jimenez making an early run, trying to get round the back of Mazraoui, who backpedaled quickly and did well to deal with it. And then Fernandes brilliantly turning in the midfield, and Zirkzee similarly doing well to take Bassi out of the picture. But the ball didn't go into Obi's path and Fulham win it back.
They're going to have to get a new bit of AstroTurf here at Old Trafford in Ruben Amorim's technical area. He has not stopped pacing up and down. since the game got underway. And he's screaming at his players and he's trying to point and just get them back into a position.
Yeah, it already looks like a piece of 1970s stairs carpet, doesn't it?
It does.
Just threadbare along the white line where he's pacing up and down. He's put some steps in today. A few more yet. He's on his haunches again right now. 2.5 to go. 1-1. Willian down towards Sessignon. 2.5 minutes of extra time left. That's all that separates us from a penalty shootout. Space for Castagna on the right-hand side. Harrison Reed's got it. First time ball in from him. Jimenez trying to get the ball out from underneath his feet. Setting up Sessignon and takes a touch. Dealt with by a combination of Heaven and Lindelof. And United will bring it away with Garnacho. And Berg has done really well. He just muscles him over to the sideline. And he goes out of play for a throw.
Yeah, chance for Ryan Sessignon there, was on his right foot. Didn't have the room and the time to shift it onto his better left. Sometimes you just got to take a chance with your swinger, if that's what it is, and just let it fly.
Yeah, Sessignon, very left-footed, playing on the right of the forward line here for Fulham. 90 seconds to go. There have been so many cup ties here down the years that have had late drama. You think back to that Ahmad goal against Liverpool in 120 plus. We've really been blessed with some fantastic games over the years. Is there going to be ultra late drama in this one as well? Harrison Reed turns square through the midfield. Berger will take it on. Berger trying to get away from Bruno Fernandes. Nudges it behind square. Willian coming onto it. Helps it wide. Robinson feigns the cross. Does so at the second attempt. Heaven's there to sweep it away. He's done really well since coming on, Heaven. Now he goes back out for Robinson again. Can't get past Mazraoui. Loose ball picked up over on the Fulham left-hand side by Bassi. And a free kick is given Fulham's way for a foul on Jimenez.
Yeah, it's a foul on Calvin Bassi. Mazraoui it was, who kind of just lunged in. And it's going to give Fulham a chance to deliver something into a dangerous position here. United are going to need to defend this properly.
Well, a goal here wins it.
It certainly does. Anything here, and it's Willian on the ball. He can deliver something, and those white shirts run across the front of that ball, and anyone gets a contact on it. That's what you're looking for.
One last chance for Fulham before we go to penalties. Willian trying to orchestrate this. 6 ahead of him inside the penalty area. He's gone for goal and he's found the goalkeeper. Really disappointing set piece. Straight down the throat of Onana. And we're in to another 60 seconds. That's all that's been prescribed. So time for one last United phase of attacking play. Heaven bringing it forward towards halfway. He's found Garnacho. To time for heroes. Garnacho, ball through the 6-yard box. Bassi clears. Out of play for a throw. And it's now or never for United. Dallo with the ball in his hands. 1-1. Penalties imminent. Chance for Dallo. Just comes a couple of steps down the slope on the side of this pitch. Preparing to hurl this inside the box. 6 in red shirts waiting for it. It's a looping throw. Headed on. Bounces on the edge of the penalty area. And Fulham can bring it away. The minute is all but up. Reed getting it forward. Finding Willian. Sliding challenge comes in from Casemiro. And he's going to get booked. Or as the referee signalled the end of the 120 minutes. It is the latter. Casemiro gets away with the challenge, upending Willian. And this one is going to be settled from the penalty spot. Manchester United 1, Fulham 1, and penalties on the way. Well, Bruno Fernandes has taken 5 penalties in shootouts for United. He's scored all 5. He's scored all 3 that he scored in regulation time in matches this season. In fact, his last 10 penalties in games and shootouts for United have all gone in. He's going to go first, taking the responsibility here against Bernd Leno in all yellow. Penalties away to our left in front of the Stretford end. Fernandes is motionless, runs up, addresses the ball now, puts it into the bottom left-hand corner. Excellent penalty.
Terrific penalty. Never thought he'd miss it. Honestly, from the second he put the ball on the spot, I always fancied this one was going to end up in the back of the net. No fancy run-up, no stuttering run-up. Puts it on the spot, backpedals 3 paces, and just runs up and knocks it beyond Bernd Leno. Excellent stuff from Bruno Fernandes.
Raul Jimenez has taken 3 penalties in shootouts for Fulham. He's scored them all. And has scored 4 out of 4 from the spot in matches this season. He's going first for Fulham. It's a long run-up, a much longer run-up. He's stationed in the D. He's going to come round, a curving run to address the ball. He shuffles to his left, runs up now, little stutter, right-footed, good penalty, almost same place that Bruno put his. It's 1-1 after a penalty apiece, and Dalot's going to go next.
Yeah, very good penalty from Raul Jimenez. He did stop, start, stuttered, but was always in control and was always eyeballing Andre Onana. His eyes firmly fixed on the United goalkeeper who committed first, and Raul Jimenez just slotted it in the other corner.
So Dalot, another that's got a 100% record from the spot for United in shootouts. Tends to go second. He has done in the last 3 shootouts of which he's been a part. And it's going to be the same similar curved approach from Diogo Dalot. Runs up and he's slotted into the bottom right-hand corner. He went the other way from the previous 2 penalties, but again, dispatched very comfortably with aplomb, and they've all gone in so far.
Really good pen. Excellent pen, that, from Diogo Dalot. He always gives every last bit of energy he's got whenever he pulls the red shirt on for United. That was a really good penalty.
Sander Berge, another one of the Fulham players that scored both of his in that marathon shootout against Preston in the League Cup earlier this season. He's going second for Fulham to tie it back up at 2-2 in the shootout. Berge running up nonchalantly. What a penalty that is. Blazed into the top left-hand corner. He's rifled it with a really short run-up past Onana. It's 2-2.
Yeah, Onana goes the right way, but can't get anywhere near it. It actually hits the roof of the net before it hits the back of the net. That's how high it's gone beyond the keeper. Brilliant pen.
Casemiro missed in the FA Cup quarter-final shootout against Coventry last season. He's going third. The semi-final shootout, I beg your pardon. Standing on the edge of the penalty area, Casemiro eyeballing the goalkeeper. This to give United a 3-2 lead, and not a great penalty. And again, he's gone top left-hand corner as Leno went the wrong way. We've seen 5 spot kicks so far. They've all been perfect. Willian's going to go next.
Yeah, excellent strike from Casemiro. Pinged it, hit it hard and true, and Bernd Leno dives the wrong way.
So Willian making his way forward. He's just taken a little bit of grass out from the bottom of the studs on his left boot. Casemiro was waiting for him inside the penalty area.
He said something to him, didn't he, there? I mean, those 2 guys, look, international teammates, I know each other very well, but he said something to Willian just as he passed him.
No pressure, something like that. Here comes Willian running up, and he stops right before he takes it. Doesn't quite break his stride. He puts it into the bottom right-hand corner once Onana was committed. So 3-3 with 3 penalties been taken each. Next up, Victor Lindelof. Now, he scored the decisive penalty in the shootout against Brighton in the semis a couple of years ago, and he's going 4th here.
Yeah, just seen a rerun of Willian's penalty, walked up to the ball, stop-start, and then just tucked it in the corner away from Onana. Now Victor Lindelof has got to follow suit.
Leno again standing motionless, now bobbing up and down on his line, and he saved it. He's dived to his right. Lindelof bends over, staring at the penalty spot in dismay and disbelief. It's advantage Fulham in the shootout. If Robinson can score, they'll be 4-3 up with a penalty left. Victor Lindelof walks away. First time he's missed one in a shootout for United. He looks crestfallen and heartbroken.
Yeah, it's the worst feeling ever when you step up like that and the goalkeeper saves it. It must be.
Robinson to put United on the brink of elimination. Left-footed, calmly dispatched into the bottom left-hand corner. It's Fulham's to lose. They lead 4-3 after 4 penalties apiece. And Robinson just goes across and says to Bernd Leno, I've done my bit. All you've got to do now is make a save and we're through.
Yeah.
And it's Zirkzee who bears the weight of responsibility on those young shoulders.
Well, he certainly does. Cool penalty from Anthony Robinson, as cool as you like. Onana going a little too early, I've got to say. And it just allows Robinson just to eyeball him and roll it in the other corner. And Bernd Leno hands the ball to Zirkzee.
Zirkzee scored the winner in the shootout against Arsenal. He's got to score this one to keep United in it. He hasn't! They're out! The FA Cup holders are eliminated. This is Fulham's day. Revenge for their defeat here a couple of years ago. Lindelof and Zirkzee both seeing penalties saved by Bernd Leno. And Manchester United's horrific season. It's a new low. They're out of the FA Cup in a penalty shootout. Eliminated from the competition here, and their entire season now depends on them winning the Europa League. Zirkzee in tears, and he's being consoled by his teammates as the Fulham party starts, literally 5-6 yards behind him. This is the day for the Whites. Manchester United out of the FA Cup, in no position to retain the trophy now. Zirkzee with a poor penalty. Leno diving, making the save. The cue for ecstatic celebration from the Fulham players and fans. And for Manchester United, it's yet another day of dismay in this woeful 24-25 campaign. Manchester United won, Fulham won after extra time. Fulham win 4-3 on penalties.